Hey guys, how's it going? How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's painting projects going? Isn't Star Wars stupid? What's wrong with Battletech? Why doesn't everybody play 3025? Oh my god, Star Trek has really gone downhill these days. I just watched a movie, it was great. You should watch it too. I love sci-fi. Hey, let's do some painting. That was the fast version. We just blitzed right through it today. How is everyone doing today? Yeah, I'm glad that things cleared up as fast as they did. We had a little bit of external damage, but nothing too bad. I'll tell you, when hailstorms come through, the worst part of it is almost always the fact that it hurts my poor trees. It brutalizes my trees, and man, I think honestly I'm getting to a point I need to start planting some more saplings, because these trees aren't going to last forever. Fuck the trees, Roland. If you saw the landscape surrounding my house, you would know that the trees are a vital, vital part of the landscape. Oh, I had to go out, and it did. Oh, fuck my back. Oh, hell. Well, you got lots of trees then. I live in the plains. We have no trees that we did not put here ourselves. Old shed that I've been waiting to knock down for a long time. Hailstorm comes through, puts it on its side, and I just went out there and I was heaving old pieces of wood into a dumpster shock 21. That's what I'm doing right now, man. Thank you so much. Oh, fuck. Let me see what developments from last time. Sorry we had to miss Tuesday. I have been doing a little bit of work on my 100 Kingdoms Men-at-Arms. This is the Riot Sister. Good to see ya.
Hello there.
I think this is the final look that I'm going with on my Men-at-Arms. I need one or two more touch-ups on a couple of the details, like their faces and a little bit like that. But I'm feeling pretty good about this metal recipe. Once I kind of got into the swing of things, this probably took me about an hour. It's just taken me a long time to figure out how to do it. So I'm going to be chugging through the rest of these trays and just doing them all up to this same standard. Part of the trick was I leaned very blue in the armor and just kind of went with it being kind of cartoonish and stylized. But I think it looks pretty good considering how these models are built. All in all, not too bad. Sorry to hear you guys are getting a hurricane over there, Roland. That's no good. I have a teeny bit more work to go on the Judge Dredd bust we were working on, but you can see here the progress that I have made on it. I'm feeling pretty good about most of the gold. I like where the buckle and shoulders are at. I like where the gloves are at. I mostly like where the helmet's at. I'm not totally happy with the red, and I need to do the black on the helmet. I need to do this back part of the shoulder eagle, and then I need to clean up the badge on the helmet. I'm pretty happy with the skin tone. I feel like I could do more on it, but if I do more work on the skin, then I'll be veering away from my promise to just kind of work quick on this, so I'm going to be polishing this guy off. Exactly, Data Nerd. You know, and this is something, I know I've said this a few times, but this is something I've been thinking about lately. Just last few months, I've been, I don't know, it's something about getting into oils. I've just felt like I need to do higher standard paint jobs, and I don't know why I've been doing that. I just need to be relaxing and painting the way that I want to paint. So, relaxation is the name of the game. I did want to show this off, you guys. I got my, obviously an urban Judge rather than Stallone. Yeah, it looks, well, you know, you gotta give him... Stallone as an actor was not a bad choice for Judge Dredd by any stretch of the imagination. I think Stallone, with the right direction, and with someone who is like, look man, you really gotta keep your fucking helmet on, I swear to God they'll know it's you. Like, if someone had been able to convince him of that, I think Stallone himself would have been fine. There were many problems with that movie, and I honestly don't feel like Stallone was one of them. He can be an absolute joy, and I think he has the emotional range necessary for Dredd, which is to say he's a bit of a cardboard cutout of a human being. As it is. Hey, White Wolf. I said hi to almost nobody. Wombat Combat, Sumatha, Hamburg, Vergatawung. Jesus Christ, you guys. I don't know anymore. Vandal Noir, it is good to see you, man. And of course, White Wolf. Thank you so much for getting that shout out for Wombat Combat Prime, Riot Sister. But yeah, you guys, this is the paint handle that I worked up. I put my logo in it because I do that with everything. Thank you so much, Data Nerd, for getting me an SVG of that so I can easily deboss this into things now. I'll show you how it's set up. It's really, really quite simple. There's this primary painting handle piece. In the bottom, this is a screw-in insert into which, Sewer Creature, good to see ya, into which a stack of 1.5-inch washers go to give it weight. Between that and the flared base, you can stick this all the way up. I mean, you can balance this on the table easily without knocking it over. Like, you legitimately have to tip this thing more than 45 degrees for it not to just wobble back into place. It's real, real nice. And then there are these, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4-piece pucks. And I have steel washers in the bases of all of my figures, which I can show you here. It's real easy to just slide these guys off if you want. So that's steel washer, and then there's an array of magnets here and an array of magnets here, and this little trigger is gripped between them, so you can just stick that guy down on there. And I mean, this is real solid. Like, if you shake it to the side, my greatest concern is that it might slide loose, but even then, it's really not doing it. This is strong enough that I can put metal warjacks on it, and they do not shift. So then this guy, and this just clicks right down into place. Then you can wrap around, and you can use the trigger there to get a grip to throttle up on the Mini. Go up to the second trigger, and my favorite thing about it is sometimes you want to go for that full claw grip, you can just pop this off, and you can do the full claw grip as you paint using the top of the bar. All in all, I'm really quite happy with how this has come out so far, but I've fired it off to a few people who are going to use and give me some feedback. Logo inset on the top, too. That's an idea. Right? Like right there. The only problem, Data Nerd, is that by necessity, this top, this is only 0.5 millimeter thick. It has to be so that the magnets have a good strong hold through the PLA. So you can see the indent where the plastic is thin. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 magnet positions in there. So you can't really inset anything into this. Better patent that thing before GW rips it off. Like, you really think that would stop them? You really think that would stop them? Okay, I added those, Riot Sister. This is here because otherwise, trying to twist this to screw this into the bottom real quick, you run out of any purchase. So I put these in there because what you do is take a pair of needle nose pliers and kind of lock them in like that, and then you can just turn them like a screwdriver to set this flush. You can still twist this back out. So this is the thing about this. Like, this is built in such a way that you can remove all the magnets and the washers from it if you want to. But this is pretty well in there. It's not going to come out unless you want it to. I've done a little painting on it so far, but let's do a little bit more. I want to show off this is a Firebrand Warjack from Warcaster for the Iron Star Alliance. This is an entirely metal model. This thing is fucking hefty. This is like one of the old Games Workshop dreadnoughts. And I mean, I'm more worried about the glue giving out than I am the magnets. This is good and sound on here. And still incredibly easy to remove. You just slide it free if you want. And the nice thing about this is now, because I've got it set up where I've just printed myself multiple of these little model platform pucks. So I can be like working on this guy, okay, I'm done with him, set that down, grab this one over here, lock that on, work on that one, pop this off, do another. And I never have to handle the model, which is the nicest part. It's pretty nice. It is pretty nice. Suicide Prinny, I really... People keep asking me that. I think I'm gonna put these files up on Steel Warrior Studios, but like for like $3. Like they're not gonna be completely free, we've decided, but like $3 if people are interested in it. That will be enough money for me to continue to make developments on it and change things and take feedback and add features to it and whatnot. I see Machine God drop that resub a little bit before we started. Machine God, if you are in chat, my friend, thank you so much for that resub. I went through 4 or 5 design concepts before I landed on this one, and I like this one pretty well. It fits my hand well. The trigger guard, I almost fucked this up because this little lip didn't used to be in the top, but with that lip, when you lock this down, you can actually exert full pressure on this trigger and not slide anything free. Riot Sister, you're gonna get one way. If I gotta print you one myself, which isn't really that difficult to do. Sand everywhere. Sewer creature, that's no good. I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it gets everywhere. Would this print well in resin? Fuck no. No, Wombat Combat, I would not print this in resin. This is strongest in PLA by far. Like, I mean, okay. You could print this in resin. I don't think I would. It would be more expensive than it's worth. By the time you're printing something this size in resin to do this job, I would say go buy the one from Games Workshop, because this is better in PLA plastic. It's stronger, too. Unless you printed it solid, which would be crazy. Oh my god. Alright. Get my wet palette going here. What the fuck was I doing on this guy? I was highlighting the white armor panel, so let me get a little bit of my... Where is it? I need to reorganize my paints. Kursala was making fun of me because I've got so much paint that it's actually stacked on top of my my paint rack now. And that's a legit problem I'm having. I won't even pretend like it's not. That's Burning Skull. Where's my Rainy River Design Shadow Skull? Where'd it go? I put it someplace stupid? I mean, almost certainly I did. Question is where? Couldn't have gone that far. I never take it away from my desk. It's the one color I need. Is that it? Oh, hey, that's it. I put it in the wrong place on the rack. I'll tell you what, Wombat Combat. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if it's for sale at Steel Warrior Studios, I think Alex could probably make it available for just like a couple of dollars for a physically printed copy. I'd be shocked if people really wanted physical printed copies of this, but if you do, we'll make it available through Steel Warrior. It won't be very expensive. I know Alex is going to be printing some for himself because he wants to try using it. It's kind of bespoke because I know a lot of people don't base their models like I do, but if you do, and for that matter, if you use my bases, which always come with a resin printable version with a magnet, with a washer recess in it. So if you print my bases and you put washers in them and you want to get one of these from Steel Warrior, I'll make sure that these are available so we can add these to your order. Alright, what brush am I using today? Let's use the Artis Opus #1. I don't use that enough. I don't really like it all that much, but it's an okay brush. Not doing anything too precise today. Thin my Rainy River Designs paint a little bit. I really am liking all of these RRD paints I've been getting from Kursala and Data Nerd. And guys, if you're ever curious about these paints, you can always find more info by typing !Rainy River into chat. What's up? What's up, Riot Sister? What's your sting at? Suicide Printing, we can make sure that you get one. We can absolutely make sure that you know what, maybe, here's the thing. It feels weird for me putting this up as like a product that I'm selling, because it's something that I really designed for myself. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. If y'all are interested, we're gonna have some more milestones coming up here pretty soon. We could do a painting handle giveaway. Does that sound like fun? What's the grip like for tiny hands? It's not like the lightsaber. Oh, I'm not sure how big her hands are. Or do you mean for the trigger? I couldn't say. I'm not sure what size hand we'd be dealing with. A tiny one, certainly. It's definitely sized for my gargantuan mitts. I think it would be one size fits most. Oh, not tiny hands capitalized, just tiny hands. Like, oh no, I think that this would do you probably just fine. And here's the thing, is if you tried this is why I want more people to have it. Because if you try this and you're like, this is... Because, I mean, you see, my fingers go around it with plenty of room to spare. I think most hands would fit on the narrow part of this just fine. If the trigger were too far out, I could easily do another one that is closer in. I'm sorry, you said tiny hands. I thought you meant the tiny hands. I was like, well, I didn't design it for an actual child, but I'm not saying it couldn't work. Yeah, get in there nice and deep like. Data Nerd, I will do just that. I'll fire you guys over the files tonight. Because, yeah, the more feedback I get, the better this can potentially be. I feel sure that there are issues with it that I just haven't noticed. Because I designed it specifically for myself. I'm really, really liking it, though. I've used it a few times now. It works really well. I like that models are really easy to twist on it because of the way they're held to it. Use smaller hands instead of the proper noun. Yeah, the title. The royal tiny hands. I think we might be doing the storm report just a little bit late tonight, guys. Like, purposely late. Not the usual, we meant to start on time late. But intentionally late, just so I can have a little bit more time to work tonight. Nothing terrible, maybe a half hour. You need a slot socket. Can see myself choking up on that and flinging the top half. Oh, like it has, like you can pull on this trigger and it's not gonna come off. The way it's designed, there's a little chamfer on the bottom edge here, and then there's a little raised lip here, so it locks down and in. And then you can pull on it pretty damn good, even without supporting it. Like, I tend to support it with my thumb right here, just to keep everything stable, but if you're completely off of it and pull on it, like, it just locks in. Hey, what's up, Pathrier? Yeah, we are, actually. We had a bit of an interesting time. It blasted that crappy old shed out by the excess farm equipment into fucking debris, so I was heaving a bunch of that into the dumpster just before I got on. And it knocked my damn trees around pretty good, too. Some people around us made out a lot worse than we did. How you doing there, Heather? It's good to see you, man. Drax, a very good evening to you. We get a shout out for the one, the only Draxo1. Fucking Twitch painting nobility up in this bitch. He's like a kick-ass duke of late-night Twitch painting. What do you think, Drax? If you could have any title, what would it be? Any noble title? Would it be Duke? I look at you and I think Duke. Why? I don't know. It's not anything in particular. I'm just wondering. Hey, Jarrett's Terrain. Good to see you lurking during some D&D. Well, don't let me interrupt. Hope you're having a good session. Czar, that's a good one. That's a good one. If you're fine with Duke, I'm fine with just assigning that, really. with the title Ratmonger for obvious reasons. I always liked Vermin Lord. Which I think is something in, like, Warhammer now, but the first place I heard it was in Invader Zim. The episode where he was going around flinging, like, crazed rats at people, and Gur kept referred to him as the Vermin Lord. Ratmonger, Vermin Lord, same difference. It's all the same business. Rats is rats, he says. Sewer Creature, have you seen the Suicide Squad yet? Because I feel like the Ratcatcher is the sleeper hit, is the underground, holy shit, nobody knew this character was cool until they hauled off and made her cool character. I was really very impressed by Ratcatcher. Both the Ratcatcher 2 that we got, and then the brief bit of Taika Waititi's Ratcatcher 1 that we got to enjoy. It was pretty excellent. Man, I want to play some D&D. God, you and me both, man. I have been afflicted with the eternal GM's disease. I always Dungeon Master every single game that I play. And have for most of my life at this point. You get used to it after a while. Always liked Ratcatcher, real happy they made them both good characters. Yeah, better developed than I think they've ever been before. That's one of the things I like about what James Gunn did with those characters and with that movie, was he took characters that didn't have much of a personality before and came up with a good one for them to make them likable. It's a lot of what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it's a great approach to superhero fiction in general. He's not taking big-name characters that everybody has an opinion on, but taking tiny characters that nobody could possibly care about, like Polka Dot Man. Who the fuck... Who the fuck is like, I am a Polka Dot Man fan and I prefer his original incarnation? Like, find me one person. Yeah, exactly, Drax, exactly. Admittedly, we did have a lot of fun when I was DMing those few sessions of Cyberpunk Red that we did, and that is something I mean to get back into. I would very much like to do more of that. I've had a good campaign idea in mind. I need Chaotic Harmony's help for a little bit of it. Not as a player, but, well, you know, if we wind up doing it, you'll see. Wanted to see Condiment King and Calendar Man in action. Yeah. Wait, was Condiment King in Bell Rev? I know Calendar Man was there. I saw him. Henry Cavill was almost the villain of Suicide Squad. That would have been terrible, Roland. I hate it when they do that. I hate it when they do that. When they give Suicide Squad some villain that's just way beyond their power level that doesn't make any sense. Like, Starro worked because they weren't supposed to fight him. Starro was fine because he wasn't their enemy. He wasn't their target. They were supposed to get in and retrieve some intel and keep it out of other people's, specifically journalists' hands. And then they chose to fight Starro. Imagine having Chaotic as a player in a D&D campaign. I can, because I sometimes have nightmares about that. I actually think Chaotic would be a pretty good player. Sometimes when you get guys like Chaotic in a D&D game, there can be an issue with them having just a little bit too big of a personality. It can clash with the primary narrative somewhat. But Chaotic is a good dude, and I think he doesn't have that much of an ego. He wouldn't try to make the whole campaign about himself.
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Cole Gray.
Even though he makes my stream about himself somehow.
Thunderhead slowly brushed up and down the leg of the miniature as I watched from the desk, my glistening paint waiting for his brush to get even more. The desire was there, he knew that, but he still kept painting that mech's crevices again and again, even after his paint ran thin. Oh, I suppose I need more paint, he said, smirking as he reached past me for another jar, dipping his brush deep inside of it while I watched in agony.
In agony? Vandal Noir, I'm right there with you on that. Henry Cavill was like... he would have been a great Superman. But the Superman they gave him to play is a dour, boring, depressing asshole of a Superman, and I hate him. Brandon Ruth was great. Have you watched Superman and Lois? With, Roland, help me out. Shit, I've said his name a bunch of times right here in chat. Now I can't think of it. He's played Superman in all the CW productions. Specifically Supergirl. Not Dean Cain. Not Dean Cain. I'm not talking about the New Adventures of Lois and Clark. I'm talking Superman and Lois. The new show that is currently on. Not Tom Welling. I can see his face. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Tyler Hoechlin, Data Nerd, yes. That is exactly who I'm talking about. Tyler Hoechlin is fantastic, and they gave him a line in the first episode that is straight out of All-Star Superman. It is like my favorite fucking moment when he has now I can't remember the name of the costume, but that old original costume with the black background S, you know, the really kind of, the one that looks like pajamas, and he like catches a car and stops it from hitting this kid. And he's holding it. I think he's either holding it or he's just flying. And this kid looks up at him and he just goes, "Wow, great outfit." He goes, "Thanks. My mom made it." Exactly, Roland. It is such a wonderful moment. Thanks. My mom made it. I can definitely stand a lot more Tyler Hoechlin. I appreciate in that show, too. They've tried to do something kind of fresh and new with the character. Something very similar to what they did with him in Rebirth, where they sort of remove him from the Metropolis storylines and make it more about, you know, Clark Kent trying to start a family while also being Superman and dealing with his sons being half Kryptonian. It was interesting timing considering Invincible came out shortly afterwards, I'll tell you that much. That is a very different take on the subject. So surprised they haven't adopted Saga yet as animated or live action thing. It does seem like it's been a little left out, doesn't it? Considering how many other storylines have made their way in. It's very popular these days, and, well, you know, you be careful what you wish for. Because if you're into a comic book property, it finds its way into something eventually. Not always the right hands. As it turns out, there are quite a lot of the wrong hands out there. Wombat Combat, have you seen Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, though? Admittedly, Supergirl is not the greatest of all shows. It has some moments, and it has a couple of casting choices that have been fun. I think it's better than The Flash at this point, but that's not saying much anymore. But Superman and Lois, and admittedly I need to pick it back up. I think I dropped it with the mid-season break, and I haven't watched the new episodes of it yet, but what I had seen was pretty great. They had a good balance of having him doing Clark Kent stuff and doing Superman stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah. Spawn, the HBO cartoon series, was just fine, and almost everything else has been bad. We're supposed to get a new one here soon, aren't we? A new Spawn adaptation? I admit to being curious, if not terribly hopeful. You know, Rodan, I feel the same way. Like, once I got over the expectation that, like, once I just accepted in my head, Gotham is Elseworlds. Gotham is straight up Elseworlds, parallel dimension, you know, Earth 98, whatever the hell you have to make it. I actually found myself enjoying it quite a lot. I never finished it. I don't remember exactly what point I left off at. It was at one of the season breaks, but they did a lot of fun stuff in Gotham. But then, you know, DC can get away with that crap. We're already so used to so many different versions of each and every superhero. It's like, yeah, whatever. Mess with the backstory all you want. I'll just headcanon this into being a parallel dimension. We've got lots of those. Hey, what's up, Rio? How you doing? Leave anything in HBO's hands long enough, it'll turn into a dumpster fire. Rome, Westworld, Game of Thrones. Well, now Rome, I feel like Rome ended before it got terrible. Rome was still pretty great, even at the end. I mean, admittedly, Rome turned into the story of Titus Pullo and how he fucked literally everyone on the planet Earth. I think that was the story by the end of it. It was the adventures of Titus Pullo and his magic legionnaire dick. It was a bit much. You could also title it, James Purefoy Hangs Dong and the Whole World is Impressed. It's the alternate title for Rome. Woke up for this? What's up, Pondburn and Avash? We got some really fucking fantastic people in chat tonight, folks. Welcome in, welcome in. Spartacus has a shot of Manu Bennett ass naked, hanging dong right in the fucking camera, and his written line that he then spoke while naked was, "Well, lick my hole, the pig fucker's still alive." That was his line. That is an achievement of obscenity. I was astonished. I had to rewind that scene like 4 times. Pondburn, well, thank you for stopping in anyway, my man. You have a good night. Spartacus was a surprisingly great show. I watched it when it first came out. I watched the first episode, and I was just like, I don't know if I was just too young to appreciate what it had going for it, but I had this real edgy take on it. I was like, oh, it's just ripping off like 300. This must be like 300, the show. Because it had like a slow motion shot where someone got punched in the mouth. It was like slow motion blood coming out of their mouth. I was like, oh yeah, 300, I remember this. It was way better. It was way better than I gave it credit for. It grew into itself, and it had some very odd happenings surrounding production, what with the main actor literally dying between seasons. They actually halted production.
Box. You're gonna get stuffed in a box.
They halted production to give him time to recover, and then he died. Like, the whole second season is a prequel that has nothing to do with the first season because they were just treading water waiting for him to recover. And then he died. Which sucked. But the replacement they got in for him is actually pretty good, in my opinion. Alright, I'm gonna work on the next guy a bit here. Oh yeah, and it had Lucy Lawless. Lucy Lawless mostly naked. Anybody who was in that show was naked at some point, pretty much. And it had, what's his name who played the brother from The Mummy? You remember the nerdy, mousy, bookish brother who always was getting into trouble? Whose actor's name I should probably remember at this point. Jonathan Carnahan, Data Nerd, thank you so much. Ah, The Mummy. I wish we had known at the time just how lucky we were to be getting that movie. I wish we had truly appreciated how much it was that Brendan Fraser fucked himself up to make that film. How screwed he was getting at the time, and how very long it would be after he disappeared before we would get quality Brendan Fraser again. Oh my god, Suicide Prinny, he is the best thing about Doom Patrol in my opinion. I love that show. Doom Patrol is stupid good. It's like a superhero show that has nothing to do with superheroes. It doesn't have any superheroes in it, and the superpowered characters don't do anything superheroic. It's pretty much just a bunch of supremely fucked up people desperately trying to live their lives with some semblance of normalcy and not hate themselves. And it's maybe a little weird how much I identify with that. It's a great show. And yeah, he's fantastic in it. He plays a character that isn't very likable. I mean, I guess he is in some ways, but Cliff Steele is a real piece of shit a lot of the time. At least he was, and he's sort of learning how not to be. Doom Patrol is, I believe, available on HBO Max. Suicide Printing. And the whole first season has Alan Tudyk as a villain named Mr. Nobody, who The best way that I can describe Mr. Nobody is, imagine if Roger Rabbit was pure evil. You know how Roger Rabbit could do anything? But only when it was funny? That's basically Mr. Nobody. His metaphysical powers are... Oh, I'm sorry, Sewer Creature. I was reading above where he was commenting, Suicide Prinny was commenting on Doom Patrol. My bad. No, yeah. He's not even, like... I mean, it's a live-action show, Suicide Prinny. They do some CG on Mr. Nobody from time to time, but a lot of the time he's just wearing ridiculous outfits. He's fantastic, though. He also narrates the show for the whole first season, because Mr. Nobody is, like, metaphysically removed from reality. So he is actually narrating the show that we're watching while also being the villain of it. It's... ooh... Yeah, Rodan. Now, I'm not familiar, and no spoilers, please, I'm not familiar with the Candlemaker. He is kind of DC slapstick, yeah. He's, like, supremely all-powerful, but with some very odd limitations. But yeah, Candlemaker seems fucking OP as hell. I don't fully understand what the deal is with Candlemaker, but he is kind of terrifying. And I love that the whole plot of Candlemaker, like, Candlemaker is a villain, but the real plot surrounding Candlemaker is about saving this young girl who never deserved to be in the position that she's in. It's a wonderful show, and it's about family, and it's about forgiveness, and it's not just about forgiving other people, but about forgiving yourself. Like, it's a really, really touching, well-written show. I almost cry during the Negative Man segments of that show. Negative Man is... he's hard to watch sometimes. Like, the performance that is delivered by Matt... somebody help me out, his name is Matt something. The performance that he delivers is phenomenal. But his story is so tragic. And there's a great Matt Bromer, thank you. There's a great musical segment towards the end of the first season with Matt Bromer, where he gets invited to sing at Danny the Street, who's another insane fucking character. Oh, how about Flex Mentallo, everybody? How about Flex fucking Mentallo as a character in that show? A character whose magical power is vast and ill-defined. He has a muscle for everything, and if he flexes the right muscle, he can do literally anything. But he doesn't always know which muscle to flex. There was a point at which he's trying to flex the muscle to send the team into a parallel dimension and accidentally flexes the muscle that gives everyone in a quarter mile an orgasm. And he's like, oh, well, I wasn't trying to do that. It's just a delightful premise, and the showrunners have really run with the insanity of it, and I really, really appreciate it for what it is. But yeah, there's a wonderful, wonderful musical number towards the end of Season 1 with Matt Bromer that is similarly heartrending. And then his whole arc in Season 2, heart-rending, but so damn meaningful. Honestly, I think I like every character in that show. Everybody's got something pretty interesting to offer. I even thought that Timothy Dalton's character was going to wind up kind of two-dimensional once they started revealing things about him, but no. And I'm sorry, but the scene, there's a part in Season 1 where they show what happened to the original Doom Patrol. It is the most horrifying shit. Like, it goes so dark, so fast. Showing what Mr. Nobody did to this team of superheroes is just like, oh my god. He fucking destroys them in some of the most... I don't know, it is difficult to describe without getting into particulars. I just say you've got to watch the show. Also, because of that scene, I get that fucking hot diggity, dog diggity song stuck in my fucking head. I'm also curious, Rodan. Now, they had to cut production short of Season 2, is my understanding. Which is why, Mafik, you should check out Doom Patrol, man. It's a great show. They don't resolve the conflict with Candlemaker in Season 2. It ends prematurely, but I'm pretty sure that's because COVID was kicking up around that time. The butts are... Oh my god, I forgot about the butts. I forgot about the butts. The fucking, like, general eating his cheeseburger in the boardroom and everyone's talking about all this serious shit and he's just like, we mustn't upset the butts. And then the butts are loose and you understand why they mustn't upset the butts. I haven't spoiled anything, I don't think, Riot Sister. It's all... You will be delightfully surprised. Like, I can't even touch some of the shit that they do in Season 1. I cannot touch the shit that they do with, like, Ezekiel the cockroach. With, what's the name of the fucking rat? Admiral something? Admiral Whiskers, the rat? It kind of is Vergaderung. Like, as I try to describe the show, and as I remember the things that happened in it, I'm like, I don't know how to tell you about, like, the final confrontation between a kaiju-sized intelligent cockroach and a giant rat. I don't know how to describe how they wound up in that situation. or where it goes. Ezekiel the cockroach is fantastic, and that's another name that I should know. Oh god, POV. I did forget about the butts. What's fucked up is it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of sentient asses that run around. And they're horrifying. It is exactly what it sounds like. You mustn't upset the butts. Fucking Admiral Whiskers. I'm sorry, just listening to Alan Tudyk say, "Go, Admiral Whiskers. Fuck them. Fuck them in their brains. Fuck them in their hearts. And fuck them in their souls." Like, Jesus Christ. And he does. He fucks them in their brains, their hearts, and their souls. And actually, Rodan, that is a very good point. This was done by Alan Moore. Doom Patrol was written by Alan Moore after he did X-Men. And it was, and this is my understanding of it, I could be mistaken, so anybody who knows more about the timeline on this, please feel free to correct me, but Alan Moore, he did X-Men for a while, and then X-Men really got picked up into syndication, became more popular, and started getting rolled into the mainstream Marvel Universe, and then he sort of separated from it, and he did Doom Patrol as like, let's try to start over. Let's have this story be about what I originally wanted X-Men to be about, because X-Men is now more about, like, Wolverine and his superpowers than it is about racism and inequality. And so he did Doom Patrol, and Doom Patrol is very much about being an outsider and being downtrodden, being forgotten, being just a complete and utter misfit that can't integrate with society and trying to find a place in the world regardless. Like, Christ, it's well into Season 2 before you even figure out what the fuck Negative Man's powers are. Or he doesn't even really have powers. Negative Man has an they all, like, none of the characters really have superpowers. They can do, let's make it 1/2 hour late, Kursala. We're gonna go for 9 o'clock. Like, they have abilities that they technically can use to do superhuman things, yes, but they're more afflicted with horrific conditions. Several of them, like, it's not so much that they have superpowers as they can't eat, they just have things that are wrong with them and they can barely function as a result without massive amounts of concentration. Like poor Rita. If Rita gets upset, she turns into a big fucking blob. I've mostly been talking about Doom Patrol for a while here, Sewer Creature. Roland, did you say you started watching Banshee? Because I need to pick that up. I mentioned Superman and Lois with Tyler Hoechlin, and I do recommend giving that one a shot. That is a great show. Now, so far, I'm not sure where it goes. I haven't finished season 1 yet. I always leave room there for it to get stupid real quick before the end. But Tyler Hoechlin's a great Superman, and I love watching him both as Superman and as Clark Kent. Everyone should watch Doom Patrol, just if nothing else, because I promise you, you haven't seen anything quite like it. The Terrifics is a better current era Fantastic Four than the new almost everything is better than the new Fantastic Four. Until Marvel inevitably focus groups it and produces a Fantastic Four that the internet hive mind loses their shit over and does a bunch of memes for. Which, I'm sure that's coming. They'll feed it into the algorithm, Reed Richards will drop a bunch of witty one-liners, and Chris Pratt will play the Human Torch or fucking whatever. Now, I haven't, the Titans episode where Beast Boy takes Raven to see Calder to help Cliff just goes, wow, you hate her that much? Yeah, so that was an interesting way they kind of did a backdoor pilot for Doom Patrol. They did a backdoor pilot for Doom Patrol in Titans, Season 1, where they went to meet the Doom Patrol to try to get help. And I think Beast Boy was hanging out with them at the time. And what's interesting is they changed a lot. They changed the actor for Calder, and they changed the outfit, and I believe also the actor for Negative Man in between that backdoor pilot and the actual start of the Doom Patrol. Obviously, they picked up Timothy Dalton. So, yeah, that was a good get. I hope that you like it, Sewer Creature. And like I said, it's not a superhero show. Like, they don't do superhero things. They don't really have big, superpowered fights to save the world. Most of the time, they're trying to save an individual or just themselves. Oh my god, and then the Cult of the Great Eye. Like, there are so many weird plot lines in that show. What was the eyeball called? The Unmaker? The D-something? I can't remember the name of it now. But it was literally a cult summoning a gigantic eyeball in the sky that unwrites things from reality by looking at them. And the conclusion of this arc involved a metaphysical staring contest. It is a delightful show. The D Creator, thank you, Square. Yes, the D Creator. And the unwritten book. Oh my god. That whole revelation with Jane was amazing. And the actress playing Crazy Jane is pretty fucking great. She plays like 10 different characters on the regular. And so she has Matt Yee. It is good to see you, my friend. Could we get a shout out? Could we get a shout out for the one and only, the very talented Matt Yee? I was going to say, the actress playing Crazy Jane, she has, I don't remember, they enumerate how many multiple personalities she has. it's some ridiculous number of multiple personalities, but she herself is incredibly superpowered. And when her, the Flea, you're unlikely to see any of the Krieg boys here. I'm not really touching Games Workshop stuff much these days, but you're likely to find a lot of other stuff. I'm working on a bunch of Privateer Press, Parabellum War games. I might be grabbing some of those new plastics that they're doing for, oh shit, what's it called? Infinity. Lots of other stuff, though, and some stuff that I make myself. Pull up a chair, Flea. Pull up a chair. Do you have a favorite sci-fi original? You're fucking right. Yeah, I do, Matt Yee. It's called The Expanse, baby. For those of you who want to forget that The Expanse was a sci-fi original before it got picked up. That's right, I'm cooler than you, Matt. I remembered that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not cooler than Matt. Or if I am, it's not because of that. But yeah, Crazy Jane, she has huge amounts of superpowers. She has a bunch of different personalities, and each personality is like assigned one of those powers. So the personality has to come out and assert control before she can use them. And some of them are pretty interesting. I personally, I'm a big, I know that they use dude, Dark Matter was great. To Square, Dark Matter was great. Okay? I don't care what anybody fucking says. I was so sad when Dark Matter got canceled. Like, it was just really finding its footing. It wasn't like the most nuanced, amazing, groundbreaking sci-fi ever. You know what I felt like every time I watched Dark Matter? I felt this amazing kinship with the writers. Because I was like, you guys aren't doing everything the best. Like, you're not breaking new ground on anything. But what you're doing, what I'm getting from this, is that you have consumed all the same sci-fi that I have, and you liked all the same parts of it. It was just this mishmash of elements from all these different sci-fi shows and books and performances that were not necessarily great, but were getting better as it went on. I really liked Dark Matter. Yeah, that's what I mean, to Square. It borrowed from almost everything. And, yeah, Defiance was great, Sumitha. I'm glad that Defiance at least got a chance to end. Like, it got canceled, but the ending that they wrote into the last season was enough. It was enough. It sent the characters forward in such a way that I was fairly satisfied with it. But then I do like my schlock. Dark Matter, man. Yeah, that show was just a lot of fun. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest show anyone's ever fucking made, but it was just a lot of fun. And Zoe, I can't remember her last name, actress, first name Zoe, who played the android in that show, like, she was a delight. Her performance wasn't always the best, but she was obviously drawing inspiration from a lot of different sources, like, she had some of Brent Spiner's data in there. She was sweating a little bit of Isaac from the Orville, though I think the Orville might have come after that. Maybe Isaac was sweating her. Oh shit, my whole understanding of the world has just been shattered again. Damn it, I hate it when that happens. Yeah, Zoe Palmer, thank you to Square. Caprica was excellent. Caprica was another one of those shows that was just getting good when it got canceled. It was just getting really good, and it was correcting problems that I had with Battlestar Galactica. It was, Sumitha, yes. Guys, sci-fi used to have great shows. Sci-fi used to have really good shows, and at a certain point, they just went all in on the sci-fi original Sharknado train. They got Tara Reid on permanent retainer, and they just gave up on television. Yes, Megapython versus Gatoroid. Oh, you always cut right to the quick, Matt. Right to it. You have such a talent for finding my weak spot and just digging into it. Or Ice Spiders? Who could forget Ice Spiders? What a quality film. Guess what that was about. Starring that giant chode from Starship Troopers, Johnny Rico's rival, whatever the fuck that actor's name is, Xander. Sci-fi's like watching your son start a very promising career in sports and then quit after winning 5 matches to go home and eat cake. That's me, though. No, we are. Mafik, we are. We are going to be starting in about 1.5 hours. We got started about 2 hours late on the actual stream due to some weather interruptions, so I'm just taking this extra half hour to make sure that I could actually get some painting done, and then we're going to be rolling right on into it, my friend. Kind of make me think about Dark Matter. I like that show. It did not get a satisfactory ending, but what existed of the show was pretty excellent. Could stream the first episode of Doom Patrol this weekend to Square. I'd fucking watch it, dude. I haven't watched the first season in a while, and I love the first. Even the first episode just grabs you and doesn't let go. I'm not gonna describe the donkey. I can't describe the donkey. I don't know what to say about the donkey. Just the first episode, it involves a donkey, and it's gonna make you go, what the fuck am I watching? Just what the hell is going on? I will say that the episode where they go to South America to meet up with the Nazi doctor, who then puts on a fucking puppet show explaining how him being a Nazi doctor is the best thing ever, is... It's amazing. White Wolf, you get some sleep, man. Yeah, it's my understanding you have been up a wee little bit. You take it easy, and thanks for coming in, man. It's always a pleasure to see you. I'm not gonna tell you. You just gotta watch it. You'll see about the donkey. The donkey that is weirdly important to the plot. I'm glad you guys reminded me of Doom Patrol. I've been mostly ignoring it, just kind of waiting for an announcement for whenever it's going to continue. Because like I said, Season 2 ended kind of abruptly because of COVID, and it didn't really resolve the Candlemaker plotline. It's probably a good time to get into it, because I'm pretty sure we'll have some more soon. I know that the Orville recently finished production on their Season 3, and that'll be coming out soon. That's exciting. I like the Orville. Dark Matter has a graphic novel. Does it really, to Square? You should link that in the Discord. What is your point of view on Bellboy? Hellboy? Are we talking about Hellboy, Mafik? Hellboy. I assume we're talking about Hellboy. I like Hellboy. I'm not a Hellboy comics reader. I'm aware of the comics. I have been aware of the comics for a long time. I've never picked it up. My introduction to Hellboy was through the first Guillermo del Toro movie with Ron Perlman. And here's the thing. I love Guillermo del Toro. I love everything that Guillermo does. Even the things of his that I don't love, I really, really enjoy. I wasn't like the biggest fan of Crimson Peak, but it had a lot to offer regardless, and there were little gems in it. If nothing else, Crimson Peak was beautiful. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. September 23rd. Oh my god, for real, to Square? That's so I'm so glad I've been ignoring it for as long as I have been in that case. I like the movies. I quite like Hellboy 1, and I really like Hellboy 2. The Golden Army, it is an amazingly entertaining film. It's probably the only good movie that Luke Goss has ever done. Like, because I liked Luke Goss as Prince Nuada so much in Hellboy 2 that I went out and found other Luke Goss movies, and it turns out that Luke Goss does bullshit. He does some of just the worst. Just the worst. Like Death Race 2000 and shit like that. Real garbage. But he was great as Prince Nuada. You talking about Death Race 2000? I like the premise of Death Race 2000 more than I like the movie. The movie was boring. It's like the worst thing that a movie called Death Race can be is fucking boring. Luke Goss can do some decent action. He's not even a terrible actor with the right direction, but it's like, for whatever reason, he's only signed on to real trash movies. I liked Hellboy 2, though. I'll tell you what's amazing about Hellboy 2, and many of you may already know this if you're familiar with the film. If you watched it, there's a character in it called Mr. Wink, who is... He's like the main goon for Prince Nuada. He's this huge, hulking, ogre-looking dude, and he has a metal hand that he can shoot off on the end of a chain and, like, swing around and grab stuff. That was mostly a costume. Like, almost everything about that character, other than the obvious CG when his hand would go flying across the room, was a costume. It had motions for breathing, it had motors connected to the hairs on its back so that they could move and stand up, and like, almost everything Mr. Wink did was a costume. And that kind of blew my mind, because when I watched the movie, I just assumed it was really, really good CG. Like, wow, that looks real. What great CGI. No, that was a dude in a suit. That was kind of when I started to fall in love with the filmmaking of Guillermo del Toro. Because it wouldn't be for a little while that he would go to do Pacific Rim, and then I was like, yes, Guillermo. Yes, Guillermo. I will watch whatever you make, sir. What's going on with these guys on the rank and flank base? Oh, I was working on these guys last time, Matt, and you do oil painting. This is my quick and dirty NMM oil painting method for doing my rank and flank men-at-arms for Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings. This is the first stand that I got mostly done. They need a couple little details. But I was able to, once I figured out my workflow, get these four guys done in just about an hour. The metal on them. And the rest of it took me probably like 2 hours for a stand. I can get them up to this standard. I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's been a long, slow process getting a handle on oils, but this felt pretty good. Most of my struggle with NMM is still just learning, how to think about where my highlights go, and a lot of that, getting decent at it has, interestingly enough, instead of like doing some kind of careful study of how light shines on metal, I found that I've gotten better by just not caring. I'm just like, I don't know, do a gradient from light to dark and then line the edge with white and move the fuck on. And it's yielding better results than fretting over it, I can tell you that much. Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I got that when I finally did start studying other people's non-metallic metal and being like, okay, so why did they choose this place to do the highlight? How did they do the lighting on? Like, so much of it is just understanding, you know, apply a little bit of volumetric lighting and shading to it. Like, describe the shape of the piece that you're making using your highlights, but don't really worry that much about where your light sources are. Like, that's something for years down the road. As it is right now, like I said, I pick a corner, I do a gradient, I do the opposite gradient on any opposing faces, I line everything with white, I do a couple little touches, I move the hell on. And with rank and flank, if I do enough of it, they'll all look close enough that the whole group looks pretty good. But like with acrylics, so much of getting good at painting with oils, I am discovering, is just learning to relax. Just relax. Just, you know, just slap the damn paint down. Oh, Matt, I wanted to show you. I've made decent progress on this guy. I only have a couple of touches I still want to do on him. But I will say that working on something larger like this has helped me quite a lot with my oil painting. I'm pretty happy with where I've landed with a lot of the details on this guy. He's still, mostly his helmet needs work at this point, but the rest of him is, yeah. And I haven't done the back of his shoulder eagle, it's painfully obvious. But the rest of it, yeah, sure. I think the badge and the belt buckle and the little gold chain actually came out pretty nice. Mannix, good to see you. You like the self-portrait? Yeah, I call that Thunderhead on a good day. Matt, your oil painting has been a big inspiration for me to keep going with it, so thank you very much for the streaming that you do, good sir. Ooh, silence. The silent stream. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It's Marco Frizzoni streaming through me. Well, thank you, Marco Frizzoni. You know, I tell people that sometimes. So often I encounter people who... It's like they think that... And I understand this mindset, I had it for a long time too. This attitude of like, I don't want to just copy what other people are doing, or it's just a little trick that I did. It's not really, like, being good at something, acquiring talent, acquiring skill at a task is just learning all the little tricks and then learning how to apply them without having to think too much about them. Like, that is just called getting better at something. And in the art world in particular, like, we all borrow from each other, guys. That's the only reason any of us know how to do anything. This is the magic of human culture. So from Marco to you to me. Or alternatively, from God to Cain to Seth. I would say, I'd be like, Thunder points to anybody who can name that, but I'm imagining like everybody in chat right now knows exactly what that's from. I'll tell you what's kind of interesting, Matt. My working with oils has made me much more comfortable with wet blending acrylics, which is something that I was never really that comfortable with before. And obviously I have to do it much faster than I would do any of my oil blends, but it's just made me more confident with it, which I think is kind of an interesting... Yeah, it's the same process, but you get to be lazy with oils, but once you're used to doing it with oils and you're more confident with precisely what it is you want to do, like, it's just been working better for me. Yes, that is From God to Cain to Seth is from the very first mission briefing for Command and Conquer for the Brotherhood of Nod, as you were introduced to your handler Seth. During the dual stream with you and Steely, you asked what Matt did in the film industry. Matt didn't answer, so I mentioned Matt was a jib operator, and he said he worked in a nautical environment. Perhaps you can set us straight on this. I mean, he might have just been pulling your leg because a jib is, there are a few things that can be described as a jib, and one of the most notable ones is that is a nautical phrase. I'm not sure. What do you do, Matt? You just troll Twitch professionally? I mean, it's possible. He claims that he does work, but who knows? I claim that I do work, and I'm obviously lying. He's a mean chili farmer. No, not Gibbs, sewer creature. This is very, very different. Cameraman with extra steps, and sometimes I shoot cars. That's really pretty cool, man. The fact that you work in film at all, I seriously admire. Like, any fucking role, I find incredibly neat. It's living the dream, man. I don't work in film, I just criticize it heavily. But I'll shoot anything. Kids, animals, old people, it doesn't matter. I just like shooting. Oh boy, here I go killing again. Man, of all the characters they shouldn't have killed off. Not that that show is such that they couldn't just wave their hands and bring him back. I mean, you know, it's Rick and Morty. I don't think Harmon really gives that much of a shit about continuity. How long have I got? Just under 10 minutes? Not gonna rush too much, but I should be able to get this mostly done. Then I'll just need 1 or 2 more rounds of highlights and this squad will be complete, and then I can move on to a fucking warjack or two. Just dip it in some paint and call it done. Speaking of jibs, I like the cut of Jack's. Jack, how you doing today, man? How is that retail therapy going for you there, Jack? Jack has been losing his damn mind. How many armies? How many armies are you gonna have for conquest, you maniac? I wanted to show you, by the way, Jack. This is where I have landed for my standard for my men-at-arms. Now that I've actually got a process for doing this, and I figured out what colors I want to blend to achieve it, I should be able to apply this to the rest of my 100 Kingdoms forces. Pretty happy with it. There's a few little details still need doing on these guys, but each part of this, from the fabric to the leather to the metal, I've gotten down pretty quick. And we're going to be doing some more of this on Sunday. Eat some plastic, chug some paint, shit an army. That's I don't even, yeah. I feel like there should be a Mexican infomercial for this method. I'm imagining, you know, like when they always show it in black and white first, and there's some woman that's like, is boiling an egg too hard for you? And she like takes an egg and she like slips and falls on it and explodes all over the kitchen, and her stove falls on her or some shit. It's like, buy this little device and it'll boil the egg for you. Like one of those, but it's telling you to swallow your models, drink paint, and shit a fully painted army. Maybe what it is like a little plastic widget, you know? So you drink the paint, you swallow the models, you pop this little widget in there, and then you do like the hokey pokey. You kind of move yourself around, you know? And then an army comes out the other end. As long as you're not doing like Necron flayed ones, then you're in for a bad time. You're goddamn right I did, Matt. Put your number 2 brush in, take your number 2 brush out. Put your number 2 brush in, and you shake it all about. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, to square, thank you. Oh, my slouching gets bad.
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Coal Gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
It's true. You do. Always thin your paints, ladies and gents. Paint being too thin will not yield any real negatives. Paint being too thick, you could be in for a bad day and a tough cleanup. Ooh, I don't actually want... No, did I do his hands in white on the other one? I can't remember. Let me see. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Matt Yee, who has never heard of thinning oils in his life, he goes right from tube, which is... It appalls me every single time. Matt, I have adapted a lot of your thinking and methodology, but that is one bridge too far for me, sir. I pre-thin my oils. He thins them, but a bit like a Neanderthal might thin them, and not like a human being. Feels good to raw dog the oils. Oh my god. What a profoundly upsetting phrase to use. in this context. Immediately think of Frank Reynolds going down the Thunder Gun Express. Let's raw dog the shit out of it. He pours like a single bottle of water down a water slide and just goes down it dry. I love that show. These models, by the way, are fairly low contrast for how I like to do this paint job. But I haven't coated the other ones I need to do, and these are just my testers, so I'm just dealing with the fact that they're going to be kind of low contrast compared to the rest of their compatriots. They're the first squad done. They're never going to be exactly like the rest. And I may come in and do a touch more spot fixes and pin washing on them later. You never know. What did I miss? One more little quick hit here, and then we'll go over to the storm report. I had to put a lot of effort into adding contrast to my minis. Matt, I've found that that's probably my biggest weakness. That and talking. Probably my biggest weakness as a painter is I don't lean into contrast enough. And as much as I know all the advice to improve it, it's just something that is hard for me to get over. I feel like I'm getting better as time goes on, but sometimes I forget my own advice. What oils did you use for your Conquest stuff? Jack, almost entirely Winsor & Newton Winton oil color. And I thin that with an odorless terpenoid. If you're curious about what specific paints, I'd be happy to let you know on Discord. But pretty much the entire line that I'm using is Winsor & Newton Winton oil color. I'm gonna try one thing real quick just to visualize. Where's my pure white? There it is. They are in fact cash money. I'll tell you one of the things I like the most about oils, Matt Yee, as far as cash money goes, is that I barely have to use any actual paint when painting with oils. So they go a long, long way. And that's nice. I just want to touch him up in one or two spots with pure white to see how it looks. Yeah, I need a little bit more contrast in this paint job. That's okay. I've got a whole force to do like this, so I'm going to try not to complicate it too much. Just a few spots of pure white will go a long way. Thinking about transferring my oils to GW paint pots for a better user experience. You know what's fucked up, Matt? That's not even the worst idea, because at least oil paints in those pots would not dry up immediately. Like, I still don't think it would actually be a good idea, but they'd be better in those pots than acrylic paints are. You know I'm right. Still want to stay up tonight? What do you have in mind, Vergaderung? I need to do my aftercare, and I need to grab some dinner after this. But yeah, if you're going to be up late, dude, I'll play some games with you. Do some Back for Blood or some Chivalry or something. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about these guys. Is Back for Blood still up? That's a great question. I guess it was just a temporary beta. It might not be. Okay, yeah, it's not then. Like I fucking pay attention. I think I got... Generally, I got better contrast on this guy, the first one that I did, so I'm going to lean in this direction for the rest of them. I need to do, on these guys, touch up the white, finish the purple, do the weapons and the undersuit, and then I'll be able to call this squad done and move on to the rest of them. I'm going to have some pretty interesting models coming along for the Iron Star Alliance. We have another couple of squads of those guys to work on. We have this big heavy weapons boy here. We've got a couple of these caster units who have really, really cool armor that I'm looking forward to getting some paint on. I have a couple of these Paladin commanders with their swords and shields and their little predator guns on their shoulders there, and then I have, I don't remember the name of this guy, Justikar Voss, I think maybe his name is. He should be a fun paint job. And a couple of Warjacks, which I'm really looking forward to digging into these guys, because I like the look of the Iron Star Alliance Warjacks. They're just big, beefy sons of bitches, and I think they're going to look really cool with the yellow, purple, blue-gray scheme that we have going on. But let's go ahead and transition over to the Storm Report and see what y'all have been sharing, since we unfortunately had to miss a stream earlier in the week. The far future leaders still don't wear helmets. No. Kinetic energy fields or something, Vergaderung. I'm just going to wave my hands in the air and say words, science-y words. Quantum field fluctuations. Does that explain it enough for you? I hope it does, because that's all I got. I really am liking this paint handle, and I'm going to get this out to a number of people. If people are interested in picking up one of these paint handles, one of these magnetic ones, like, I'll do a giveaway if you want. I'll print like 5 of them, 5 full sets of them, and send them out, and we'll see how people like them. Why bother wearing the rest of the armor? Damn it, Vergaderung, why are you asking so many questions? Just play the game. For the love of God. Oh, give me 1 second. Let me take one quick bio break, grab a beer, and we're going to roll right into the Storm Report when I get back. I will see you in just a second. And we're back. Yeah, Matt, I guess you weren't in at the beginning when I was talking about it. But yeah, this is a painting handle I designed for myself. Puckduncher? Holy shit, what's up? We haven't seen you in a little while on that 17-month streak. God damn. Puckduncher, how are things? I hope you've been finding time to get some painting done. What with, you know, life and all that. But yeah, I was going to show this to you, Matt Yee, and Data Nerd was kind enough to go ahead and render my logo in a nice usable vector SVG file, so it's real easy for me to deboss this onto stuff now. But Quick overview of the features. It is entirely I just made this for myself because of how Goddamn, I was just here like a month ago. I stream 3 times a week, for God's sake, Buck Toucher. It's always good to see you, though. I hope things have been going well for you. The basic handle is this piece here. Underneath this top cap, which is glued down, there's a little array of neodymium magnets. On the bottom here, there is a twist-in insert that is filled with 1.5-inch steel washers, which gives it enough weight that when it's resting between that and the flared base, like, it's... You gotta tilt it. That's at 45 degrees just about. And it just falls right back. Like, it really... It does not want to go over. You put some weight at the top of it, that's obviously going to impact it, but you're not likely to knock this guy over on accident. Yes, flared base, insert butt plug, Joker. Just insert butt plug, if that's what you must do. It's, yes, Internet, the Thunderhead brand painting handle is safe to go up your ass. That's what we've all... That's what we do here, obviously. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the other component of this is the little top magnetic puck, which uses more magnets, and it just screws together. And you can insert one of... I've got a couple of different versions of these trigger guards and brace bars. You can have 2 or 3 of these. I've got 3 of them now with a couple of different triggers, and I just attach my whole squad to them like this because I put steel washers in the bases of all my figures. And if you buy my bases that I make available, I also... have, like, you can just resin print these, and they have recesses in them for washers, so it's like... I don't know, if you buy all Thunderhead stuff, it all works together, is I guess what I'm trying to say. But yeah, then you can just take this and pop it right down on there, and it's got a good firm hold. Like, I'm really not worried about this falling off at all. The most it does is it doesn't even shift around, actually. Like, it's... You can scoot it to the side. If you just whack it like that, you can scoot it to the side. But, like, don't do that. I guess I could put, like, a little raised lip at the edge to prevent... Well, that would kind of reduce the effectiveness for larger bases. Because, I mean, these magnets are strong enough that if you use, like I do, a 1.5-inch washer in the base of larger figures, like even this fully metal Warjack, this is strong enough to hold this firm. I can turn it upside down. I'm not worried about it at all. I'd be more worried about the glue giving out than I am the magnets not holding it down. And it's strong enough you can go ahead and pull on that trigger. Whip your miniatures around at Mach 5. Has to be able to withstand... Damn it, sewer crate. Was this just a big base plug? It's all... It's systemic. You see, Matt? I start with one thing and then I sell you on everything else that I make. But I'm really liking it. I made it like so many things, like pretty much everything that I make, ultimately. I made it for the most selfish of reasons, which is just that I wanted it. But if you want it to, I will make it available. I'm pretty happy with that, but not as happy as I am to be getting to the Storm Report.
Alright, locusts and gentlemechs, get ready to feast your eyes on glorp paint and wet palettes with the occasional culinary atrocity thrown in on tonight's Storm Report, brought to you by viewers like you.
Let me move my wet palette out of the way here. Everything must be arranged. Just so. Breaking news, Thunderhead makes butt plugs. Yeah, the old Thunder plug. It's, I just... What have I done with this stream? What? Every day we stray further from God's light. I mean, one of the reasons I want to get it out there for Gadarung is, again, I note I made it for myself. It's very bespoke to my purposes. If you guys want it, I will make it available. I would love feedback on it. Like, if you find some major design flaw in it that I really haven't considered, I really want that brought to my attention, because anything worth doing is worth overdoing, and I do love over-engineering the shit out of things for no good reason. Something we do have a good reason to do. is see what the POV42 has shared with us today. Here we have some mechs getting in early to show off the final group picture of the Desert Bus mechs. These 4 each taught me so many different little things, and I feel like I improved significantly over the course of the 3 months I spent working on them. They're now wrapped in bubble wrap in a box, and I will likely never see them again in person, which is a weird feeling. At least 8 to 12 hours of work and 12 to 24 different paints, primers, washes, glazes, overlays on each one of these. Compared to where I was skill-wise even this past spring, these are proof that anybody can paint beautiful minis if you try. POV. That is the truth, my friend. That is absolutely the truth. Texturing, like, I don't think that's a bad idea, Vandal Noir, but it's tricky. It's tricky to do because the top has to be a 0.5 millimeter thick, and that doesn't give me much to work with texture-wise. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I'm definitely kind of resting on that concept. Now, the nice thing about this design, the really nice thing about this design is that while I have glued a number of things in place, the only thing on this that you have to glue in is this top piece here that holds the primary magnets in. The rest of this is all screwed together, so you can unscrew it, you can take the magnets out, you could replace pieces of it if new ones come out. Like, I like that kind of modular, non-permanent assembly. If I texture it, I'm gonna get even more butt plug jokes. Sewer creature, that's gonna happen anyway, man. That's just, there's no way around that. These, you have improved since we started doing these, because I believe this was the first one that we saw. And this is the latest one, this Marauder over here. And I have to say, after the pin washing and panel lining that you did on this, the paint job really pops nicely. I'll tell you, the Mad Cat's looking pretty good too, though. The butt plug is inevitable. There's a Josh Brolin meme in here somewhere. Was the first the Mad Cat? I thought the Day Sheet was the first one that we saw, but I could be misremembering. That's a Day Sheet, right? Is that right? They really are damn good looking, aren't they? Wish they were all in focus. Like, okay, I wasn't gonna rip on that. It is difficult to focus, like, because this is an issue with depth of field. In case you're wondering, the reason that these guys are out of focus and these guys are in focus is because you have a very narrow depth of field. One way that you can fix this, POV, an easy way to fix this, pull your camera back and away from your models. Like, pull back another foot or so, and then focus on them, take the picture, and then crop it down to the size that you want it to be. That will, because the further away you are, the deeper your depth of field is going to be. Now, there's a point of diminishing returns on that, and there's more tricks that you could apply. But move your camera back, focus, take your picture, crop it down. That's going to make sure that when you get a shot like this of 4 guys that have, that are further back, some of them, that way your Marauder and your Archer will be more in focus. But damn, that is a good looking squad. I am sure they're going to be thrilled as hell to have these. I believe these are being auctioned off, is what he said. And here we have the heraldry for all 4 of them. That's the easy way, Sumitha, is just to have them all, is to not have them further away from the camera than each other, but it looks good to do it that way. And it is as easy of a fix as just pulling your camera back. You should do that anyway, honestly. Take your picture from about 2 to 2.5 feet away, and then crop it down. For the Desert Bus for Hope charity benefiting Child's Play. That movie's terrifying. Why would you want to benefit Chucky? He's a murderous little doll possessed with the spirit of a serial killer. That doesn't make any sense. I take it back. Everything nice that I said. I'm not, no. If this is going to fund Brad Dourif murdering children, I'm not okay with this. Oh, the penny. Oh, that makes way more sense. Actually, now that you say it, that sounds right. Literally shaking about this camera. Matt, shut up. You're a fucking cameraman, goddammit. Taking the piss. Here we have from Mafik. Well, I hate to break my promise, but here's the Tankenstein. An abomination sentient tank made up from other parts of German, Russian tanks, the turret of a KV-4, and the hull of a Porsche Tiger. It's the first mad tank in a World of Tanks Blitz Halloween 2014, the year it was released. This tank has 2 options for main guns, the 105mm from American Heavy Tank T-29 and the 130mm naval gun from an Su-100Y. It is a hideous bastard, isn't it? It really, like, it's got another turret slapped on top of the bigger turret. That's what the What? That's fucking ridiculous. Okay. Sure. Why not? Turretception. And here we have this rendered in tank waifu form, which is, which one should I use? I like how the armor plates are stitched together, mismatched colors. In this, the treads on this one have taken the form of the heavy gear style, like, rollerblade treads. Calm yourself. Calm yourself, Matt. This isn't Svetlana, okay? This is a tank waifu. I like the random little sort of cybernetic eye with the tubing connected to it. And of course, it would be incomplete without a stitch going right across one of the immense waifu boobies. Recently got a buff on the frontal armor, am I right? look at the buff we got, because it's boobs. The joke is it's boobs. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You know, I'm just gonna move on. Mafik, thank you for sharing your work with us yet again. And Matt, yeah, dude, Mafik has his own channel over on the Thunderhit Studio Discord, so if you haven't checked that out, go give it a look. He's done so many of these designs, it's a little crazy. You can always find that by hitting ! Discord in chat. Here we have from Amateur Paint Hour. Wrapped up my last lance of Kellhound's 3058 era command lance and figured I'd add some terrain effects. Besides being a bit dusty, maybe too much, gotta learn moderation. Less is definitely more, Amateur Paint Hour, when it comes to weathering. You can see spots where the sandblasting is stripped paint to bare metal. Excuse me, and the cockpit / lasers don't have the normal jeweling effect. Actively looking for opinions on how to do this better. It's not a bad result, but not quite what I was going for either. The weathering is just a little bit overdone. I think that you've already mentioned that, and I can definitely see that. I feel like the cockpit, and I can't speak to the official Kellhound's color schemes. First of all, the jeweling would definitely help, but secondly, my big problem is that you've got warm on warm, which is to say that your primary color for the chassis, for the torso, is red, and then your cockpit glass color is orange. And as a result, they don't contrast. They all just kind of blend together. I love the little splashes of blue for the weapons. Maybe if you went with a yellow, I would personally go a little crazier than that. You've already got blue, maybe go green with your cockpit glass. I think that is going to give you a lot better contrast and just add a lot of visual interest to the figure. I would go deeper for your shadows on all these colors. I would take your red deeper. I would take your black deeper. The middle of the panels, maybe try to get that as true black as possible, fading out to gray towards the edges before you get the sandblasted effect. And I know that can be tricky, but just like so many times my advice boils down to the advice I give myself, which is add more contrast. More contrast is always going to make the minis look good. Similarly, you've got warm colors on the base, so everything kind of blends together into, like, if you could bring yourself to go with, because I mean, think about it, Battletech has lots of alien worlds, right? So there could be a world with a desert of sand that is made of, say, like olivine. Maybe it has like a green tone to it. Maybe it's a cobalt desert. Maybe it has a blue tone to it. Yeah, go for alien worlds. Pick a color that's going to contrast heavily with your paint scheme, because it's just gonna make everything, it's like if you go with a blue or with a green, it's gonna make your red look redder to the naked eye. So I think that if you were to go in a different direction with the basing, and you were to shift your cockpit glass into something that has a proper temperature contrast with the rest of the paint scheme, that alone would already start to make this look better. And yes, I would tone down the weathering step a bit. Always remember, less is more. So do a tiny amount of it, and then stop yourself. Take a break, take some pictures of it, see how you like it. If you want more, add more, but just remember this. Remember this always. It is much, much easier to add than to take away. Once you've done the weathering, it is a huge pain in the ass to reduce it. But you can always add a little bit more. So just start small and take baby steps. All in all, I think that they look great, but just a few little tricks you could apply to definitely improve the overall look of the figures. I'd be curious to know, like, are you using a particular visual inspiration? You said it's not quite how you imagined it. Do you have an example of how you imagined it, Amateur Paint Hour? Because I'd love to see what you're using as inspiration. And yeah, try the different basing. That's easy to do. That's just a little bit of dry brushing. Go with like I'm talking like start with a base that is just black and then dry brush dark blue to light blue. Use a real desaturated blue. You don't want like electric blue, you want something tending towards white. And again, go easy. Lean into the contrast. Leave yourself some nice, deep, dark areas on the base, and then try to just catch the top edges of the rocks and the grain with your whites and your light blues. All this stuff is dirty and crusted with sand. It doesn't work like it used to. Desperation's starting to set in. Okay, I gotcha. It's an interesting idea, Sewer Creature. Take a look at all of them together here. Just thinking fond memories of camping in the desert for 3 weeks, remembering how dust-encrusted everything was after that. Consider picking up some weathering pigments and learning how to use them. Weathering pigments and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol are really, really good for that, because what you can do is you can sort of stab with a shitty brush. You can kind of stab the weathering pigments down into the crevices of the figure. And I would use it very, very sparingly. Like, I think this is some of the best weathering in the entire set is right here on the leg. Because if you think about it, you do it in smart places. You're going to get more sand around the ankles, maybe on the underside of the pelvis, maybe a bit on the bottom of the arms, depending on how low they hang. But other than that, like, is it realistic that probably every square inch of the mech would be crusted with sand? Yeah, is that going to look good? Not necessarily. Try to tell a story with your weathering, you know? And particularly when you're dealing with 6mm scale figures. Like, if you were doing a 28mm scale mech that was this tall, right? You would have so much space, so much canvas to do all sorts of little bits of weathering on, but you have this tiny, tiny, tiny space. So, be selective. Already doing a supply run for the next project. Chrome cockpits would be on them. Oh, that could be interesting. And Vergaderung's got some interesting ideas in him, certainly. Got this cool chrome pen. Alright, what do we got up next? Here we have from Sewer Creature, a very short comic-ish thing I made to follow up on the thing I posted in the Storm Report the last time. Compiled all 9 parts into one image to comply with the law, but I'll post the individual parts in 2D general, if requested. Sorry, hang on. Oh, excuse me, how rude of me. Yes, I recall. Those horrible, horrible things. Your reimagination of the... It ate him! Oh my god! He turns the look and it goes dark, apparently. And then turns away. And then the horrible arm reaches out and grabs him. And the face splits down the middle. And then he eats him. And then it's just dark. I hate this. It does, yeah, you can see it splitting on the 4th panel, you're right. It gives me a little bit of an Attack on Titan vibe, which is the subject of some of my nightmares, so thanks for that, Sewer Creature. You have a horrific imagination. Really nicely done. I particularly like this panel, where it's focusing on just the 2 eyes on one side of its face. Ugh. I like how you can see the legs kicking here, and then they've gone limp in the next panel. No, this is really pretty cool, Sewer Creature. I like the art style. It's simplistic but evocative. Retelling of the trolls from The Hobbit. Yeah, but without Bilbo to distract them. I hate these fucking things. This is going to haunt my dreams. Good lord, man. Here we have from Kursala. I think I'm ready to call this one finished. And yeah, please do post these in 2D General. I would love to see that. Sewer Creature, if you're going to be doing a bunch of work like that, always feel free to ask. I would be happy to give you an artist channel. I love the artist channels that we have on Thunderhead Studio, Discord. A lot of people don't want to run their own damn Discord, so if I can give them a place to share their art and to archive their work and to talk about what they're doing, I am more than happy to do so. I think I'm ready to call this one finished. It's simple, but it's just a lightly armored flatbed truck for dragging salvage back to your base. I added 2 winches on the main part and 1 on the trailer, copious amounts of D-rings for tie-downs and dragging, an exhaust pipe for its diesel engine, an extra window for the back, and a few headlamps for the front. Trailer is optional. There's a gaping hole in the back for the hitch, so you may as well put one on. Also added a ladder to the rear mid panel on the side skirts. That was after the render was taken. I like it. Honestly, it's simple, effective, and like I said, Kursala, it reminds me a lot of the Eagle from Space 1999. Which, not in a bad way. Like, Space 1999 is a, like, crazy fucking obscure show that if you're borrowing inspiration from, like, very few people would ever fucking notice. Oh my god, yeah, oh man. I'm not gonna say you need to go watch Space 1999 because it's a ridiculous show. But it has some really, really cool design in it. I love the premise of it, too, because it's like the moon gets blasted out of orbit and sent out into space, and we follow the adventures of the people who were on the moon base when the moon got launched away from the Earth. And I love how in the show they almost never address the, like, simple fact, and it's an old show. It's like 70s. They never address the fact, really, that, oh, everyone on Earth is definitely dead because the moon is gone. It's just kind of like, okay. We're on the moon and we're sailing through space. But they have a utility craft called the Eagle in that show, and it looks a lot like this truck. It's a really cool design. I dig it. I like the winches, too. Really nicely done, Kursala. And guys, if you're ever curious about anything that Kursala is working on, you can find everything that he does when it becomes available at Rainy River Designs. You can always hit ! Rainy River in chat to get a link over to that website. Here we have from Rodan, the Eraser from Batman D-Lister Rogues. Your D-list work, Rodan, is honestly my favorite work that you've done. I love the Erased Batman, by the way. I assume the Erased Batman and Robin probably come with the figure. That's fucking brilliant, though. Nice job on the pinstriping to give it that sort of angled, like, number 2 pencil look. Good choice on the colors. I really, really like that. Getting that perfect pink for the Eraser definitely had to be tricky. I really, though, since I've seen your work, Rodan, since you've started working on, like, Kite Man, the Condiment King, some of the latest work you've done is absolutely a joy. Considering, like, the one time that I played the Batman miniatures game with you, you completely and utterly fucking confounded and frustrated me with those fucking Riddler bots. I would much rather play against your D-listers. Fuck those Riddler bots, those were bullshit. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. That fucking game, between Riddler bots and just, like, common criminals, like, there was no reason to play superheroes. It was crazy. Yeah, the surprise Pikachu freehand, and come on, Sumitha, there was a dick butt on that one, for God's sake. Dick butt is not only funny, it's not only internet culture, but it is Batman culture, because dick butt is part of a classic Batman meme. It's amazing! It's so meta! Rodan, this is fucking fantastic work. Really nicely done. I hope that we have more of these on their way. Vergaderung, have you not seen the Batman dick butt meme? Just type in Batman dick butt into Google, accept the fact that you have just been put on a list and you're gonna get weird emails, and enjoy the meme. Yeah, the pinstriping is surprisingly effective, isn't it? I have not, Vergaderung, no. I picked up on it once it made its way into the Batman meme. I knew that it came from someplace else, but I never followed it any further back than that. Really, really nice work, Rodan. Last of the D list till more come out. What is next on your list out of curiosity? I would love to know what you're going to be painting next. I know you've been doing a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff, and I would love to see some more of that out of you. I've got an Eowyn. I did Eomer recently, Eomer on Firefoot. I've got him here. I've got Eowyn / Dernhelm and Mary, and I need to paint them. I very much need to. Rodan, have you ever considered streaming your paint work, man? Because you do some pretty fantastic stuff. Oh, let's come down here to see what we got from Chaotic Harmony, Astral Knights, Assault Marines. After that one is Victoria Zaz. I was going to say, like a gender-bent Victor Zaz. My god. How terrifying. Victor Zaz. Oh, that'll be upsetting. This metallic paint job's actually working out really well. It looks like he's even freehanding the logos for the Assault Cross on the shoulder. That's some pretty fine work, Chaotic Harmony. Damn. Rodan, if you ever honestly do want to stream and you'd like any advice at all, please feel free. Ask me any questions that you have. I can't promise I'm going to have the best answer for you, but if there's anything I can do to help you, I would be more than happy to do so. Shiny paint make Goblin Brain happy. Freehand or I think these are freehand. Like, they're not clean enough to be decal, and they're silver. But they are very clean for Chaotic's work. Yeah, because like the arm here is narrower than it is here. It's subtle little things, but honestly, they look really good. Walter's Workshop. How can I be a super cool streamer like you? Alright, I'll tell you what, Walter, what you need to do. Take the nearest glass bottle to where you are. Is it in your hand? Pick it up. I'll wait. Okay, I assume you've gotten it by now. Take the glass bottle and you're gonna shatter it against the edge of the nearest table you have, and then take the jagged edge and just jam it into. No, I'm sorry. You know what? That was my naturally ambitious side. I'm trying to knock out the competition. I'm sorry. It's a bad habit. Walter, you're already a fucking cool streamer, man. You're easily one of my top 5 favorite streamers on Twitch. You can tell. You can tell because of how jealous I am, ultimately. How you doing, Walter? How is that abomination coming, dude? You've been doing some amazing work on that thing. Work at 4 a.m., you know. Oh, God, suicide Prinny. That's horrifying. Got jars stuck in places. We've been talking about the importance of the flared base all night, Walter. Speaking of which, Walter, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. I am going to be sending out files for this magnetic paint handle that I worked on to people. I've been really, really enjoying using this thing. It does require you to base your models with metal washers. And yes, it looks like a butt plug. Thank you, sewer creature. Like I said, we've been talking about the flared base and how important it is. Jesus. You know what? I'll be happy to fire the files your way, Walter. Because honestly, right now, I'm looking for feedback on it. I'm looking for people to find problems with it so that I can correct them. This is lovely work that Chaotic did. The basing is actually pretty excellent. I like the mixed grit. It seems like it's a fairly simple job to do. This would probably be a good amount of the basing available from Rainy River Designs that Kursala works on. Really, really nice work. Chaotic Harmony. Also, your metallics are looking fucking good, dude. The washing that you did on the gold chest eagles, this is some of the best shading I've seen you do so far. This is so much cleaner than the work you were doing when you first started posting, Chaotic. How you doing, Time Stop? It's good to see you. And guys, if you're not following Chaotic Harmony yet, you need to get over there and follow that stream. That dude is a fucking amazing streamer, and he's getting better and better at painting. Here we have from White Wolf, Alec, I'll take Problems for the Future Me for 200. Oh, that's all of my problems. Household Knight Standard Bearer. Oh, fuck, yes. One of my 2 Conquest 100 Kingdoms Force, and yes, it is fully assembled. Odds are I may regret this, but that's a problem for future me to deal with and come up with creative solutions for. Or it's a Standard Bearer, one of 3. Sirius attempted to pick up a 3rd core set and wind up with 24 knights as well as 3 noble lords. But Pulling a Bostria challenge for such would put me much closer to 3k points instead of 2k. Would look awesome in the cabinet though. My current target for Conquest is I gotta finish painting my 600, then I'm going to 1200, and I'm not thinking past that yet. I'm not thinking past 1200 yet. Let's take a look. I haven't built this guy yet. I've got one of these gents ready to assemble, but I'm going to paint my currently assembled Household Knights before I get into the Standard Bearer. I love that the standards they've done for Conquest have so many heavily sculpted details in them. It's going to make them so much easier to paint, not having to freehand anything. Look at that with the Sunburst and the Lion. That is such a damn nice figure. Holy crap. Well, lovely assembly job, and I thoroughly appreciate the multiple angles all in the collage, White Wolf. Look at all these little tassels. These are going to be fun to paint. I've got one of these in a box, like I said. I haven't put it together yet. Except the Militia Standard, which is just, dude, they're militia. What do you expect? The Militia Standard is a colored piece of fabric. Here's the thing that you need to remember, Jack. The purpose of the Standard in combat. The purpose of the Standard in combat is just a big, bright object that people can see and follow because they know which one they belong to. Like, this squad is red. Well, we got the red standard. Look for the red flag. Follow that around. In the case of militia, it's just going to be a big red piece of fabric. Also, stop using the militia. They suck. Make bowmen. Seriously, the Conquest 100 Kingdoms militia are fucking garbage. Just use the men-at-arms and get extra volley shots with your militia bowmen. I haven't really found a reason to use militia. I used them once, and they're just so underwhelming. I guess they're cheaper than men-at-arms, and there's some benefit to them. Like, I guess if you're running noble lords, you know, you can run out of slots for men-at-arms. So if you're going melee heavy, you can use some. Do the swords dudes. I want to see them. Which ones are you talking about? I forgot. Around the men-at-arms. I want to show you something, Walter. Lovely image. I'm going to go back to I'll go back to my previous overlay for just a moment. So I'm finally getting into the painting groove on my men-at-arms. We've been working on these a little bit at a time for a long time, but this is the metallic that I wound up figuring out. Oh, yes, Vergaderung. The Steel Legion are going to be coming up. I'm doing these guys. I am doing my Mercenary Crossbowmen, and then I'm going to do my Steel Legion. I'm going to be trying to get these guys done, like, over the weekend. That's my goal, because I've gotten to a point where I can do this metal over the course of about an hour. But yeah, I'm making progress. It's slow going. Damn, this summer has been hard to find the time to paint. I'm finally clocking some time outside of my actual stream time getting some painting done. How do you do the metal with oils? Yeah, non-metallic metal. And that's what I've been teaching myself, is just how to do non-metallic metal, broadly. I spend way too much time, when I started non-metallic metal, I spent way too much time worrying about, like, where every single highlight should go and how to do the perfect volume. And I'll tell you what to do, Jack. I'll tell you what to do non-metallic metal. Honestly, it's something that you're gonna get better at over the course of years as you work on it. So the most important thing, pick a panel, do a gradient from light to dark, edge it in white, move the fuck on. It doesn't matter if that's really where the light would fall. And as you do more of it, it will become more natural. But just light to dark, line it with white, move on. Light to dark, line it with white, move on. That's the basics of non-metallic metal. Learn some simple tricks of volumetric lighting. Learn how to describe the simplest and most important shapes for volumetric lighting are spheres, cubes, cylinders. Learn how to describe those three shapes, and you are well on your way. Just like Matt Varnish. Matt Varnish, thank you so much for the follow. You too are well on your way. Speaking of well on your way, has anybody gotten their dice yet? Thank you so much for the follow, Matt Varnish. Welcome to the stream. Feel the same painting my clone Spearman. Dude, yeah, it's brutal. It's this is the curse of rank and flank games, Walter's Workshop. We gotta pick those simple color schemes that we can replicate easily. Not yet, they should be getting there soon. I'll check the tracking on them today, and if anybody's takes longer than normal, I have tracking numbers for every single order that went out. I have confirmed that all of them are in the system currently. Alright, let's come down a little bit more. Here we have from Cyber Knight Metalcore Collectibles. Black Knight in resin, still some tweaking to be done, but promising progress. Unfortunately, this also makes the last prints of my first photon. Yeah, I heard about this. This is very sad. And please, everybody, chat, please. Take a moment of silence. Raise your glass and drop a quick F in chat for Cyber Knight's first resin printer, which has finally given up the ghost. Rest in peace, Photon. He put up a valiant effort and printed many a mech. Many a mech. Just a month shy of 4 years running it, now rests after refusing to turn on, after trying to replace the LCD. Oh well, just makes more room for some Mars 2s. Hey, I love getting the new kit, don't you? These look so fucking good. This looks so fucking good. Oh my god, the shifted proportions help them so much. I love the 30-degree turn in the head. I love the bulked up shoulders. God damn, these are good looking. I mean, like, look, I know that I talk shit about CGL, and, like, I probably do it even when I don't need to. I'm probably not entirely fair to them, honestly. But this makes their fucking premium Black Knight look like a goddamn joke. I can't believe they paid money for those molds when guys like Cyber Knight are out there doing shit like this. Damn. Looks like he can bench press. I mean, considering he'd be about, like, 55 feet tall, sewer creature, I think he probably could. I think he could probably throw you into the stratosphere with one hand. God damn, that's a wonderful looking. I'm gonna have to get my hands on one of these. I'll tell you what, Cyber Knight, if you are listening, if you wind up listening to this, I will make you a deal. You've already sent me a Black Knight. I need to paint it. If I paint that, I want one of these. I'm gonna get it done for you, dude, because I need one of, particularly with the Mech Warrior 4 style flat arm plate on one shoulder. That is such a great addition. Yeah. We're gonna have to do that. Oh, here we have from Wombat Combat. Doing a test on some materials of a different mini. So far have squig hide and regular hide. Oh, this is actually coming out nice. Yeah, definitely lean into that contrast. You're doing it's tricky depending on which material you're doing, particularly if you're doing fabric or leather. I kind of like what you've done here with the knuckles on this one hand. He looks like he's got raw knuckles, like he's been punching, you know? Like the skin's kind of worn off. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you were going for, but if it was, lean into that, man. I think that looks really good. I'm digging the kind of raw yellow-orange that we have here. And then, yeah, we're going a little darker, a little redder for the cloth down here on the pants. I think this is moving in a wonderful direction. It contrasts well with the kind of yellow-green that you've chosen for this. The deeper contrast shadows, I think, look fantastic. Wombat Combat, you are moving in the right direction. Keep going. I like the look of the base, too. I hadn't really noticed it before, but you got like a cobblestone thing going on. I'm looking forward to seeing some more of those orcs coming together. Here we have from Kursala, spent an afternoon cutting cards, stuffing bags, and stapling labels. Now I need to get them packed and into some boxes. Oh, it looks so professional, though, doesn't it? The appearance of professionalism is so important. Fake it till you make it, I think is what they say, isn't it? I know that's what I'm doing. Looking to make it look like his knuckles are beaten up because he's been beating people's faces in. Might want to add just a little touch of blood. Not necessarily. On a figure that large, if you try to do too many details like blood, unless you're real careful with it, it can just wind up looking kind of confused. If you just put in some lividity to the knuckles themselves to make them look bruised, like, you still kind of get that effect. Paper cutter kept chewing up the card, so I had to do it by hand. Ooh, that sounds rough. Damn. They look wonderful, though, Kursala. Oh, yeah, there are paint swatches in the one that I sent to you guys, by the way. I'm probably going to be sending you guys a new package here in the immediate future, but I put paint swatches of some colors that I would very much like to be available from Rainy River Designs in there, so hopefully you're able to do something with that. Oh, the glory of mass production. Speaking of which, I got to print up some of those new Shadowhawks I did. I completely redid my Shadowhawk, and I need to print up some new ones to send down to Chaotic Harmony, and Shock is waiting on some Dugram mechs as well. Here we have from the Machine God, Screams an Emerald Parakeet. Ooh, we got clan mechs, guys. What is this one? Is this a summoner? Is that what this is? I think it's a Thor, right? Because it's got the one... Yeah, it's Malthus's Thor, because it's got the goofy cockpit on it. It's lacking the missile launcher. And then I only know that it's the Thor because it has the one Marauder-style arm and then the one, like, goofy hinge arm. Why the fuck would you give a mech 2 different arms? Is there an explanation for this in the universe that I'm not aware of, why the Thor has 2 completely different arms on it? The weird, yeah, the little, like, hip missile pods, right? Because it's cool? I mean, is it? It looks ridiculous. Not the model. The model looks great. I think that Machine God's really, really interesting work with the way that he does panel details applies really, really well to this. It has a surprisingly organic look for such a boxy mech. Really well done. They're hip. Oh, Jack, that's awful. That's a terrible joke, and you should feel bad for making it. Of course, it's Malthus is the only one that would make a mech that looks like an oversized elemental. Poking fun at Malthus aside, this is a gorgeous model. Yeah, guys, really, if you are into BattleTech and you have a Resin 3D printer, you should be subscribed to some assembly required. That is Papa Bear's, we haven't seen it in a long time, and Machine God's Patreon. Their models are some of the best I've seen. I think his catapult model is my favorite catapult. It looks fucking amazing. And he has so many good poses for it, too. He's the only one I've seen who's done a catapult where he's kind of like squatting down on his weird little legs and aiming his missile launchers up. It looks really good. Sumitha, I think you've probably put more thought into it than the designers did. That's going to be my guess. But then you put a lot of thought into pretty much everything. Sumitha, I'm going to be sending you a package, by the way. We keep meaning to meet up, and bullshit keeps happening, and COVID keeps going on. You and I need to meet up and grab lunch in the near future regardless, okay? Because you live like 30 minutes away from me, and that's fucking crazy. But I want you to have the shit that I printed for you, so I'm sending you a package. You'll be getting that out like tomorrow or the next day, so expect it soon so that you can at least get started painting on some stuff, man. Got some shit I gotta get in your hands. And hopefully none of it's actually shit. Yes. You can also see the right side being bigger to facilitate a cooling jacket. I refuse. You know what? I asked you for explanations, chat. I asked you to explain it to me. I now refuse to. I refuse to accept any of your explanations. It's all nonsense. We're moving on. Here we have from White Wolf, the A10 is seeing progress. Can't type much else because you try typing on a touchscreen with your offhand. Well, you can't use your main very easily. Done it. Don't want to try it again. Odds are I won't be here for the Storm Report as I've been where I am for 14 hours and no sign they're releasing me anytime soon. White Wolf, I hope that you're getting some sleep right now, man. Plane. King Shark, get off the fucking comms. Fair enough, Sumitha. Fair enough. Oh, shut up, Vergaderung. Oh, listen to that humble brag bullshit. I forget that being ambidextrous isn't normal. Ooh, I forget how special I am sometimes. Fucking ambidextrous is bullshit. Yeah, some of us have to deal with being lopsided assholes our whole life. Damn it. Oh, the build is coming along nice. Now that you've gotten through the, like, 900 parts that are apparently involved in each and every landing gear. That's so confusing. Those landing gears could be single cast pieces easily. Like, it's not a big deal, but I find myself wondering, you know, like when you see a bad movie, or a movie that's, like, even better than that, a good movie that just does maybe one thing really, really wrong, and you find yourself thinking, how do you make so many good choices and then stick on this one dumb thing? What was the moment in that person's life where they were like, let's do the bad idea now? What was it that made it happen? So how do they make a model this lovely, and at some point they're like, you know what, the landing gear should be the most complex piece? Huh. So it's your painting handles designed for lopsided assholes. It's more butt plug jokes. We're never gonna get away from the butt plugs. They wanted all the detail to show, and they couldn't find a cost-effective way to make it easily, so they just said, fuck it, make everything separate parts so we can cast it. Is that really cheaper? Sumatha? I think it would be cheaper to reduce detail on something that most people aren't going to see anyway. I can't imagine casting more parts is cheaper. You'd save yourself money and time and space on sprues. I don't understand it. But it is reality nonetheless. It's a lovely looking A10. Everybody loves the Warthog. God damn, it's such a classic design, isn't it? I hope that you do the shark's mouth when you do the paint job on it, White Wolf. You know the one I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. Can't recall if I had one more, so calling this one Therapy Thursday. If it would be working, I'd rather be working on this kit instead of waiting. Look, yeah, they're really, really complex and nice, and that's great, but you're not going to see them most of the time. And even if you were to suspend this from the ceiling, you'd probably build it with the landing gear doors shut. A lot of the parts are simple curved and bent cylinders. You don't have to worry about mold deterioration as much, I would think. It's just strange. It's just strange, that's all. There's no way it needed to be that many parts. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but it just bothers me for some reason. White Wolf, thank you for sharing. Here we have from Vandal Noir, Caretans going full weeb as they do. Oh, this is wonderful with the cherry blossoms and everything, and then and this is like that plucked foam style base flocking. Also done in the cherry blossom style, a little bit of snow. Oh, this is wonderful. This is great. This is really good. And this, okay. I want you to take this compliment the right way. Because I need to point out that the actual technical paint job here, as in the brush control, is middling. This is middling. But you won't even fucking notice, because this is an example of a wonderful concept executed beautifully. It's evocative, isn't it? Like, it jumps out at you and it just tells you what it wants to be. This is what I'm talking about when I say that, exactly, Riot Sister, the presentation and the fundamental choices made as far as the overall concept goes are so much more important than doing every little thing just and doing the blends right. It's got good color composition, it's got a fantastic concept that has some really clever basing, and like I said, it's fucking evocative. This brings up, like, images of mechs marching on Mount Fuji. This is... damn. I like this. Really well done. Just fucking fantastic. I hope that this is over in Showcase, too, because I'm going to want to look at this again. I like how we've got the red divided down the center here, and we can make out the House Karita symbols, which are just very faintly done, but it's suggestive enough. You can't be, Sewer Creature, you can't be scared to fuck it up, because here's the thing, the Master has failed more times than the Apprentice has tried. You have to fail. And here's the thing, Sewer Creature, in your failure, you might find things about your own art style that you didn't expect that you like. That is where artists find style, is in their failures. You find something that you do well that differentiates you from other people, and you fucking lean into it. So, Sewer Creature, I want you to do it, I want you to try it, and I want you to share the results no matter how you feel with them. No matter how you feel about the results, I want you to share them with us. Please. Please do, Vandal. Not Vandal, sorry, Sewer Creature. We're looking at Vandal stuff. My brain. Pop it up there, still work in progress. Please do, Vandal Noir, because yeah, I'm going to want to look at that again. If you try it, it may happen. If you don't, it won't happen. I agree. Just give it a shot. Just fucking, just like, the Sewer Creature, really, what is the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work. It doesn't work and you learn some lessons. That's your worst case scenario, dude. That's pretty fucking good. You can't fail. Here we have, oh yeah, okay, this is what they're based off of. Dude, yeah, you did a fucking better job on it than this, honestly. It's a cool scheme. I like that you went with the real harsh Japanese red, though. It gives it that look of their, you know, their national flag. The Japanese national flag, obviously not the Cretan national flag, because these are fictional people were talking about. But you know, the rising sun is what it suggests. Vandal Noir, yeah, if you wouldn't mind posting that into Showcase on the Discord, that way Sewer Creature can pick it up. If you're into that, it is your art, Vandal Noir. If you would like Sewer Creature to try to do a drawing of it, it's up to you. I really, God, this is... The inclusion of the tree with the cherry blossoms is just a wonderful touch. That's... Oh, I like it. Here we have from Cyber Knights, Throwback Sunday? Kinda, but also it's Thursday now because we skipped Tuesday. Anyway, seeing as we did the Black Ops Rapier, let's just jump ahead to the Proxy War Rapier. So jumping ahead from 2010 to 2015/2017, I was reworking the Rapier for my Proxy War project. Fidelity technically went down to accommodate Shapeway's laser-centered nylon printer/process. That said, I was able to redo a number of design elements to create better overall design. Most notably, the legs are upgraded with a much more reasonable general structure. Looking back now, it feels a bit back-heavy with the way the cannons are mounted and the arms are a bit lacking, but I'd say this makes a good basis for an eventual Mark III. See, I actually like how, anemic the arms are and how back-heavy it is with the cannons. Maybe it could benefit from bulking up the back legs or putting, some kind of bracing structure on the back, or maybe widening the back out to give it, I'm thinking, the ass end of a spider. But I really like how small the arms are. It's like these are almost an afterthought. This is not what the machine is about. This is what the machine is about, you know what I mean? There you go, it just means it leans forward with the fires and it rocks back with the recoil, which you could sell just with some clever posing. This is honestly, I always love seeing his older stuff, because I feel like this is where I'm at with my modeling right now. I just gotta remind myself, man, I've just gotten started and I need more time to really find my stride like he has. Damn. Lovely work. Lovely work, and thank you for sharing the classics with us today, Metalcore. By the way, if you're curious about Metalcore collectibles, really quite amazing 6mm mecha and vehicle designs, please hit !Metalcore in chat. You will get a link to Metalcore collectibles. If you're into 6mm wargame, if you're in wargaming rather, if you're into Battletech, anything else in that scale, just go check out his catalog. You don't have to buy anything. I'm not saying go put in a code and buy 1 billion of his latest model. I'm saying go look at what's available, because if you're not aware, you're only shortchanging yourself. Here we have from Rodan, here is Harley Quinn. I have recently come around on this character. I have spent a lot of time being real bitter about the evolution of Harley Quinn as a character, and to my defense, she went through a real bullshit toxic period in the early to late 2000s, but I think largely thanks to Margot Robbie, she has grown on me in her current incarnations, her current, liberated from the Joker incarnation. Lord Malise, welcome in. Sumitha, I know, here's the thing. This is why I say, and one of the reasons I encourage people to post on the Storm Report, and why I always say, we are our own worst critics again. I don't just mean that we're harshest on ourselves, which we are. I mean that we are the least qualified. Ironically, you as an artist, I believe, are among the least qualified individuals on the planet to judge your own work. Because you know what it was meant to be in your head. You know all the places that it went wrong. You know all the places that you just fudged it a little bit to make it work. You know where all the mistakes are, and that's what your eye goes to. Other people don't see them. And you need that outside perspective to judge yourself. And if there's anything I've learned from this stream, it's that. Absolutely. Lovely work on this, Rodan. I really like how you did the blue-black. That's something that I lean into as well. It's kind of a comic booky style of doing black. Wonderful work on this. I like the highlights in the hair, too. Here we have from Suicide Prenny a little bit more work on that bugbear. Oh, we got a shot of the shield. This is what I was after. Ah! Does anyone remember why I asked for this? I don't like this at all. Does he have a coffin lid with a man's face stapled to it? This is like some Necronomicon shit. Well, I did ask for you to share this. So I feel like I probably have no one to blame but myself for how much I hate looking at it. Like, it's good work. If anything, I feel like maybe you could even lean a little bit more to the highlights on the face to make it pop out more, but it really, yeah, it's awful. Avash, thank you so much for the reminder. I'm gonna actually have some water, too. That's a good idea. Guys, we're gonna make a real effort through the month of September, as we manage to get as we experiment with gaming streams, live gaming streams, as we experiment with battle reports and stuff like that, which is my plan for the fall. We're gonna experiment also and make a real effort to redeem my failed channel points redemption system and come up with some things for you guys to redeem to make this chat just a little bit more interactive, because I'll just admit right now, I bit off more than I could chew with my initial round of redemptions. We got some really cool paint schemes out of it, but it was not something that I could keep up. So we got to find something a little bit more sustainable, and more importantly, just something fun to involve everybody with chat. Yes, it's fucking grotesque. It is grotesque, Suicide Prinny, but then I feel like that's what you were probably going for. It looks like you zhuzhed up the metal a little bit since the last time we saw this guy. I'm telling you again, man, I would love to see some blood splatter or some rust over here on this nasty mace, considering this guy apparently peels skin off. Shut up, Gataro. The first thing I'm going to do is take away all your points. I don't even think I'm able to do that, if I'm being honest. Free prints / STLs. We'll come up with something. You know, we're probably just going to brainstorm some stuff. If you're on the Discord, you'll almost certainly get some input. Excuse me. Ooh, here we have from Sumitha. Well, while I personally don't see the introduction of the Roughneck as more than PGI's attempt to make a custom mech they can sell t-shirts for at MechCon, something they later admitted to, I mean, yeah. I won't deny the design has plenty of potential if used appropriately. The creator of the Ronin Free Company's Mercenaries, one of 2 mercenary commands featured in Operation Lancaster, has indeed decided to use it appropriately. This Dreadnought Interstellar Industries manufactured refit pack, known as the Ronin Special Refit, retools much of the mech, to the point where not much of the original machine is actually reused beyond the torso and its internal components. It comes as little surprise that the Ronin Free Companies and Dreadnought Interstellar Industries eventually worked to deal with Achernar battle mechs. Achernar? Okay, I said that right. The Roughneck's original manufacturer to purchase just the assemblies reused after the installation of the refit kit. All 4 limbs are replaced as part of the Endosteel chassis conversion and ferrofibrous armor reskin. The end result is a machine that can relatively easily be parked alongside the heavy class civilian grade industrial mech that this machine is based on in work zones, making for an excellent ambusher. Even its main gun, a rapid fire class 5 autocannon, has been installed such that it is easily missed at first glance, mistaken for a crane arm. The rest of the armament is also integrated well enough as to be easily missed. In truth, the Ronin Free Company's increasingly prolific use of this machine has led to their painting teams growing more and more skilled in rapidly repainting these machines to match local construction companies wherever the Ronin happens to be deployed. After all, their typical quadrant pattern white and blue livery tends to stand out. To be fair, that is the point of a quartered pattern. Rodan, you have a fantastic night, dude. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you Sunday, man. Bitterbrush, thank you so much for the lurk. I love my lurkers, and Bitterbrush, it is great to see you in chat as well. Matt Plog proving he can even make a controversial PGI design. He can even take a controversial PGI design and make it look properly good. Damn. I don't even like the Roughneck, and I like the look of this. Damn, the big fucking... Look at this. The big claw clamp. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I dig this. The AC-5, it very much looks like a crane. It's like you put a crane on there and just hit a gun barrel inside of it. That's a neat idea. Hiding amongst industrial mechs. Sneaky. I dig it. Surprise, motherfucker. Large fries, motherfucker. I really like the design of this claw that he's done here. These kind of like I get the teeth of the claw look like they've been bolted on. So in my head, I feel like this is a much, much tougher, more expensive, probably more brittle material used for cutting through things, and it has like this axe blade on the tip here. It reminds me of like, you know, the Jaws of Life kind of industrial claw setup. And then a much smaller one over. This one looks like it's more for grasping and lifting. This one looks more like it's for demolition and cutting. Very, very cool. Might as well go ahead and post a picture of one of these things in action during Operation Lancaster, one of the Roughneck Ronin specials working to help set up barricades around one of the Ronin Free Company's iconic Gauss variant Rommel heavy tanks. That heavy claw isn't just for show. Might as well since I'm already here. Operation Lancaster current statistics, 482 pages, 428.5 thousand words, 489 MML format record sheets, and counting. Yeah. Look at him. He's lifting a concrete barricade like it's nothing. I love these environmental shots that Plog does. I really do. I like these building designs that he has back here, for that matter. This is a wonderful element to include because we all know these concrete... This is a subtle thing. This is something that Guillermo del Toro does in Pacific Rim that really, really stands out to me. He has this great way of... Because it's difficult to tell scale with things that don't exist, that you can't see in real life. It requires, you know, the theater of the mind. It requires you to use your imagination. So you take something familiar. That tank isn't familiar. The mech isn't familiar. The buildings, they could be almost any size. The windows are familiar, and they help us to be like, okay, that's how big I would be relative to that structure. But something as familiar as these cast concrete barricades, like, we all know these. You encounter these almost... If you drive in the city, you encounter these every day. And so I can immediately imagine the entire scene and how big everything would be based on that detail alone. Admittedly, also having humans hanging around helps, but still, familiar objects do a lot for you. Really fucking fantastic work. Again, great texturing, great depth. The use of faded lines and the slightly out of focus work that he has for the barricade up here to bring it into the foreground. Plog's a great artist. He really is. I would love to do to get some more work out of Plog at some point. Still, one of my absolute favorite things is the fact that you got him to do that amazing artwork of the Borealis that still blows my mind, Sumitha. Here we have from Avash, also working on some of those Conquest, the Last Argument of King's Household Knights. These are great fucking models. Mannix the Lamer. Yeah, that's a new connector piece I'm doing for my Cybernetic Ascension recovery pods for a new terrain set that I'm currently working on. That, I'll just tell you right now, visually speaking, imagine, because this is what I'm doing, I'm just taking, like, Necromongers from Chronicles of Riddick, the Brotherhood of Nod from Command and Conquer, and the Karist Enclave from Maelstrom's Edge, the Eternus Continuum from Warcaster, all my favorite space death cults, the Unitologists from Dead Space, and just kind of jamming them together into a terrain set. Something real baroque, dark, weird. I think it's going to make for a pretty cool looking table. These are for a commission. Who are you working on them for, Avash? These Conquest minis are definitely picking up in popularity. Now I can see you went with the capes. I left these off of mine personally, opting to use those maybe if I do some more ornate ones in the future. I love that they include all the options for them, though. Like these, the caparisons for the horses are largely optional. You can leave these off. No capes. Guy from your local, nice. And a militiaman. Oh, adorable little militiaman. I hate these guys. What's that helmet he's wearing? Is that in the box? Or is that something separate? I don't recognize it. Because I've used them on the tabletop, Sumitha, and I hate my militiamen. I hated them. I used militia and men-at-arms, and I was left with, why the fuck am I using militia? Why don't I just use more men-at-arms? They're just better at everything. It's frustrating. I guess it depends on what leader you're running. They're not just crap. They fill a very specific role, and due to the way force building works, they're from the household guard heads. I thought maybe. Due to the way force building is in Conquest, like, I think I was just using them wrong. I should have had more men-at-arms. built them as the Gilded Legion. I do love those models quite a lot. Avash, if you're building Gilded/Steel Legion, I would love to see some work that you do on those two. Those models are fantastic. I love the blue that you did on here, by the way. I'm really digging this kind of russet red you have for the leather on the boots. I'll be curious to see what you wind up doing with the spear shafts if you try to do like a wood grain on them. Lovely work, Avash. The personal army militia for Conquest. You madman. You build those militia, they're gonna die in droves. Posted some work on the Conquest channel. I'll check it out after the stream, Avash. Awesome. Here we have from Sumitha again. What the hell? Why not? Stream didn't happen on Tuesday, so we're allowed 3, right? Sure, I'll allow it. Some of my own original pen and ink art from all the way back in senior year of high school. I apologize, this is an ancient small scan from 2002 to 2003-ish. So it's low res. The original is framed up on my wall, so I can't really get a better. I can't word tonight, so I can't really get a better scan at the moment. I can't get a good enough angle to photograph it, so yeah. Anywho, I present Phoenix, one of my character designs from back in high school before art college annihilated my muse. Ugh, education can do that sometimes. When I was still trying to create my own intellectual property that at the time I referred to as Armored Soul, an IP title that I've noticed has since apparently been taken. That also will happen. Ooh. We've seen a little bit of this, haven't we? Sumitha, you've shown us some of this before. Not this art piece, but some of the concepts. It reminds me a lot of, like, Silverhawks. Do you guys remember Silverhawks? That show? It was on in, like, the late 80s, early 90s? I totally get that vibe from this, though. I like the shape of the helmet. I like the way that it cuts back with these deep V's up along, sort of across the hairline. And the nasty little taloned feet. Really cool work. Jesus Christ, I wish I was doing something like this in high school. I wish people had encouraged me to art more in high school, which is probably part of the reason that I'm so, like, militant about encouraging people to art now. Because I wish someone had done that for me. Never seen it, but aware of what you're talking. Yeah, type in Silverhawks. You'll just see exactly what I'm talking about. I like the big wide pauldrons and the nasty sort of, not quite bladed, but just very heavily pointed counters here on the elbows. Really cool work, Sumitha. I would definitely, if you do get around to doing another scan of the original, I would love to see one in full res. But, you know, don't go cracking open any frames on my account. Here we have from Corwin. Have we seen anything from Corwin before? This might be his first Storm Report post. Modeled, printed, and painted this 25mm mini as a rough draft for 2 much larger versions of the same print. Any critique is welcome. Wondering what to do with the edge of the base, as plain black is a bit flat and boring. Damn. Damn. Modeled, printed, and painted using really, really cool. First of all, this is a great example of temperature contrast. We have a lot of blues on the rifle, and our shadows are this deep kind of russet orange. This creates such an interesting visual palette. We have the same thing on the armor. Our weathering is the same sort of just warm red that the dirt is just on the bottom of the panels. And this is a good example of less being more. You don't want a lot. It's just on the bottom. Like here, it's just in the crevice, and then mostly blues. We have the blue contrasting a bit with yellow. If I were to give any kind of a critique on this particularly, this yellow stripe stands out to me as a little bit weak. Like, everything about this is great, but I'm looking for things to pick out. The yellow contrast with the blue is a little bit weak. What you kind of want is just a darker band of color between the blue and the yellow to separate them from one another, because they're both fairly bright. If the blue were darker, you wouldn't have as much of an issue, but you've gone with kind of a light sky to baby blue. But yeah, if you differentiated that a little bit more, went a little darker with the yellow, it would just kind of pop out a little bit more. Even go warmer with the yellow, lean into orange a little bit, unless you want to stick with the color that you got. See, like, here's a good example. The yellow and this tan would blend into one another, but you have a really harsh dark line right here, which visually helps to separate them. Yeah, the character design is fantastic. The posing is wonderful. The overall design is great. I like the hair that we got going on here, sticking out of the back of the skull cap. I like the little wrap around the back of the neck gorget. I like how bottom heavy it is with a really thick leg armor. This is some wonderful work. No, Sewer Creature, as far as I know, this would be digitally sculpted, printed, and painted all by the same person, is what I'm getting. As far as the design work goes, I don't have any meaningful critique. I think all of your details are good and chunky. I think a lot of people, when they do 3D design, they don't necessarily do a good natural job on posing. You don't seem to have that problem. The pose comes across as very natural. The details there's enough of them to be interesting, but not so many that it's overly busy, which is, again, a trap a lot of people fall into. Too many details, and then none of them really stand out. But each piece of the model is fairly distinct. Pez Motion, it is fantastic to see you, man. Welcome in. This is some really good work. Every step of the way. I would encourage you to rethink your opinion on the black edge of the base, and that is just for one reason. I do black edging on almost every base that I do. I view bases as having the same function as a picture frame, and this is why boring is probably good. The frame of a picture should accent the picture, it should enhance the picture, but it should not draw attention away from it. Exactly, Vergaderung. It's a vignette. It's there to create a sort of a border around what you're meant to be focusing on, and not to draw your attention away from it. I think that this base looks wonderful. If I'm going to do anything to this base, I might add a little bit of grit and texture to it. Like a tiny bit more visual interest in the same color palette. It's very smooth right now, which actually kind of works, particularly for the dusty, sort of powdery weathering that you have going on. But like a little rock here, because you got one tactical rock. That's not a tactical rock, that's like I don't know what that is. It's like a little piece of machinery that he's standing on. But like, you know, a little grit texture here, a little rough piece of slate over here in the same color palette. We just add that little bit of extra to the figure. I say stick with black. I would go deeper black, because it looks like this black is a little bit washed out. I would do a few more coats and try to go as dark as you could. But, just reconsider your opinion on black, because I think that it works really, really well. Ah, Tiny Ledge, okay. Really, really nice work on it. I'd be curious what you use to do the design work on this Tiny Ledge. Is this a ZBrush project? And also, what is the design for? Are you working on your own line of figures? Because I'd be very interested to hear some more about that. I like that. Some weed sprouting or something from our... Yeah. Some weed sprouting from underneath this. Like, okay, you're in a desert. There's no moisture. Anytime something exists in a desert, a rock, a piece of debris, what moisture there is going to gather beneath it, and that's where whatever weeds might grow would. So just down in the crack, you know? Use this to teach yourself Blender. Jesus Christ, Tiny Ledge. You use this project to teach yourself Blender. Ah. What? Fuck my face, man. That's... Well, apparently Tiny Ledge is someone to keep a fucking eye on, because damn. I'm a ways behind you, brother. Wonderful work. Absolutely wonderful work, but that is gonna bring us to the end of the Storm Report, and as you may have already guessed, to the end of tonight's stream. Okay, there's the explanation. I was gonna say, Tiny Ledge, if you were coming at this with no experience and you were like, I just picked up Blender and I just made a model real quick, I was gonna be like, it's just fuck you. But no, okay. You got experience in Maya. You've probably done character design before. Like, that makes more sense. You are an artist who is learning a very difficult but powerful tool and using it really, really well, man. Like, honestly, I'm very, very impressed by your character work. Just from purely from a model painter's perspective. I'm like a year and a half into learning 3D design, character design, and stuff like that. And I'm way behind you on that front, dude, but it is really, really inspirational to see you work. You're a concept artist by trade, so bringing that into minis. I'm trying to find myself like an environmental concept. I'm not saying you. That's not why I'm mentioning this. I just thought I would mention this in chat in case anybody pops up. I am looking for someone who does like environmental sci-fi concept art to work with me on some projects. If that jumps out at anybody, if you have any friends you think would be ideal for the job, that'd be great. Basically, I've got a lot of mechanical ideas right now. and my projects move very slowly because once I have the mechanical, the broad idea, the big shapes, how it's going to work, how it's going to mechanically interact, I have all that together, then I'm sitting there like, I gotta put greeblies on it, I gotta put details, I gotta think of where wires and shit like that go, and I just need somebody who can do that procedural stuff. Looking for someone. So if anyone jumps out at you, who you think might be interested in working with me on just a tester project to see how we work together, please let me know on the Discord. Holy shit, Tiny Ledge, please keep sharing. As you continue to work, I would love to see where you go, because I really like your work, man. And thank you so much for posting to the Storm Report. Let's see who's doing what. Oh, hooty hoo, Commander Mittens, Thunderdome Drew. Who else is going? MCBTV, Alara Kerensky. It looks like we are probably gonna pop on over. And so we got Commander Mittens or Thunderdome Drew. What do you think, guys? Commander Mittens, Thunderdome Drew. What's your pick? Sewer Creature, please ping me on Discord and I'll get that taken care of for you, man. Big ones are in progress right now, so I'll share those eventually. Yeah, please do, Tiny Ledge. Please do. It is inspirational as hell to see what other people are working on. Thunderdome, alright, that's what we're gonna do. Because I'm split right down the middle on thems. Oh, that's a good idea, Sumitha. Wait, no, I can still do it. Hold on. Son of a bitch, where are my dice? I have so many of them. Ah. Alright. I'm gonna do this. Odd as Commander Mittens, and even as Thunderdome Drew. Let the dice decide. Oh, that's even. We're doing Thunderdome Drew. Wow, that amounted to nothing at all. Let's start this again. Oh my god, you guys, you amazing people, locusts, and Gentlemex, it is always a pleasure to have you here in chat, and thank you so much for joining me today, particularly after we almost had to cancel on account of some nasty weather, but we managed to get some work done anyway, and that is what is important. A little bit of work every day, just a little bit, will get you there eventually. We are going to be back this Sunday, the 22nd, working on our Conquest figures in oil paints again. Next Tuesday, the 24th, we'll be back to working on more Warcaster in acrylics. Next Thursday, we're planning on jumping into some 3D design in Fusion 360, working on some more Mecha. Saturday the 28th is going to be our Discord movie night. I will get that poll put up in the Discord. If you would like to hang out with us and watch some movies, please join the necessary channels, get the necessary tags, and you can vote on what we're going to be watching. Speaking of which, I've been in discussion with Daylight Gamer recently about expanding on the movie night concept. I've pitched a few ideas, he's pitched a few ideas. We're going to see where it lands. We might do more with that. We might expand it. He and I go way, way back. We're both huge cinephiles. We love to bounce nonsense off of each other, so we'll see where that comes out. I am gonna go get something to eat. A huge thank you, as always, to my amazing mods and everyone who posted in the Storm Report. I will see you on Sunday. Until then, keep on painting.